All right, we're live. Thank you, everyone, for coming and watching another Monday Night Draw. This is our second week of Monday Night Draw, our, I don't know, 7th, 8th live stream. I've lost track, but yeah, I'm pumped to be here. I'm drawing Batman. Batman is arguably always my favorite character. I love Wolverine, I love Moon Knight. Batman's always kind of my go-to, so I'm pumped to do this one today. Hi, Kenny and Daniel. Jackie asked if I can do Shazam next week. Maybe. We'll have to talk about that one.
See, I have to go back and look through commissions and see what we've got going.
All right, we'll see. Eric Grove, good to see you. Art C. Henry Jeremex here. Thank you so much for doing these streams, having to deal with my comments. We love you, man. We love you, Jeremy. All right. I'm going to get started. Here we go. I'm going to move my microphone.
Sorry, I was watching a Facebook video.
I keep clogging it with my arm.
I was watching a Facebook video about somebody steaming raisins.
Steaming raisins?
Steaming raisins, putting them in pop, adding compressed air. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this. I'm kind of fascinated.
I'm going to move them over.
Poking a hole. I mean, you draw, you do you. I'm going to do this.
We're live right now. The amount of times I've said we're live.
I know. Now we're adding water.
This is what I deal with when we're not doing this.
Just want to know what's going to happen.
Don't we all?
Oh, they turn them back into grapes. I don't believe that that's a magic trick. Dang, I got totally suckered in.
Scammed.
I totally got scammed. All right, here we go. And we already hit the super chat. Okay, I'm so far behind.
Yeah, well, we were talking about grapes. That'll do it.
Talking about grapes. Steaming raisins. Hey, everybody, by the way. SCS, the super chat for $5 from SCF Powerlifting was Ron Draw. What's up, everyone?
Thank you so much, SCS.
No,
as always.
How he imagined it, but that's how I heard it in my head.
That's how. Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds right.
A Gotham Knight wants to know what Batman you're drawing. Blue. But you never draw the blue Batman.
No, you know what?
You're Batman.
Yeah, I'm drawing my Batman. I'm drawing the classic Batman, classic black symbol. I really like the yellow symbol, but I'm going to do the black symbol because it's my favorite. And he's going to have the pouches. He's going to have the shorts. So yeah, classic Batman. The Batman I wanted to draw when I got to DC. I was so excited to do it, and then they wanted me to change the costume, and they lost the shorts, and I spent years there with no shorts. It was so upsetting.
Tim Gardner wants to know if this is going to be pencil or ink drawing, Dave.
This one is going to be ink.
We did pencil last week.
We did pencil last week, so
well,
maybe...
I mean...
Me, sure, but yeah. For the stream, we on the stream, because whatever, pencil last week. So we're doing inks this week.
Oh my gosh, Eric is the best. Eric, already promoting your Skillshare course.
Oh man, thank you.
What are we, 2 minutes into the stream? And Eric's like, everybody, dude, Dave's Skillshare course is up. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. And Eric actually left the first review, and was a very nice review. I really appreciate it, Eric.
And Dave left the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Oops.
So I watched it because I wanted to make sure that everything's all right. And at the end of it, it says, did you like this? Whatever. And I'm thinking, but this is my Skillshare. I don't know why they're asking. Then I thought,
I liked it. Damn it.
Maybe I should promote it, and look better for it. So I said yeah, and anyway, then it showed up like a review under my name. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah,
so I deleted it, but I think it was up there for like an hour.
It still says that. I checked it.
Does it? Oh no.
It says you reviewed your own course.
Does it really?
So if anybody wants to know if Dave is a noob, it's true, he is.
I'm a noob. That's the kind of guy that will do that also. That was terrible.
Lance DeBoyer has already...
Oh yes.
Skillshare.
By the way, and I see Chip is on here. Chip Quarles, I saw that you had signed, and thank you so much for the super chat. I saw that you followed me on Skillshare, so thank you so much for that. We were talking on Facebook earlier, and
$20 super chat. Thank you, Chip.
Oh, I read that. Thank you so much. Really, very much appreciate it. That's great. And Lance DeBoyer, the legendary Lance DeBoyer, also I saw him on there.
Why is that legendary?
Because I really like him.
Okay.
Isn't that enough?
I'm gonna read Chip's super chat as he wrote it.
Okay.
Says, my weekly Finch donation. Long live Terraman. P.S. Love the Skillshare. I was going through it, and I don't think there was any instruction for eyes looking directly at the face.
Eyes looking directly at the, like...
Make a straight-on shot? Did you not do any straight-ons?
I guess no, I didn't.
P.S. Got a Finch cover 80th anniversary Joker. Aww.
You know what? Let's fix that right now. I'm going to draw an eye looking directly, and tell me if this is what you meant. So I'm going to draw a line for my eyes. And a brow to my nose. There's going to be one eye here. One here. Now, I tend, if I can avoid it, to not draw faces face on. Actually, the first lesson in the Skillshare course, I'm drawing a face on, like directly pointed, and it was like the biggest. I could see as I'm looking at it backwards, like as I'm watching later on, how screwed up it was here and there. Oh, it's so hard to draw that way because everything needs to be totally symmetrical. Okay, so straight on. There's just no distortion in the shape, that's all. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw my eyeballs, but I only draw a dot. And I went over this in the course too. And I draw a dot because I want to make sure that they're pointed the way that I want them to be pointed. And I've spent years drawing eyes, and then I'd realize one's kind of pointed off the wrong way a little bit, and then trying to fix it. And so I just draw a little dot, and then once I'm pretty sure that I'm good, maybe I'll move that one just a little bit. And generally, unless I want the face to look surprised, I always ride my pupil just below, so it's touching the upper lid. Because if it's not, it ends up looking a little more surprised, which is not really the look I'm kind of going for. So I feel like I'm the worst advertiser for my skill. The whole course is like this, by the way, me mumbling while I fight with a picture. So there's eyes straight on. I think I didn't really do it because they're fairly as far as it goes, eyes straight on are relatively easy. It's getting the whole head kind of working and not being distorted. For all I know, this is totally distorted. I don't think so. Anyway,
sure it's fine. All right.
Oh, Daniel Castelli. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on you.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But I saw Daniel said hi before we started. I wanted to say hi.
I'll go back upstairs.
All right.
It's totally who's running the show.
All right.
Draw, monkey, draw.
Wow.
Because I had to read this one first because I know we have some super chats backed up. But Jackie Howe said, Dave's power skill be so OP that every time he talks, ZHC is like, write that down. Write that down. So I just saw that. And then there were super chats, so now I gotta go back and read the super chats.
I'd love to see ZHC draw some more. You know, he hasn't really been drawing as much lately. Yeah, I'd love to see him kind of get back to it. If not, you know, something he does all the time, it'd be nice to see him just touch on it again, you know?
All right. Well, we have some super chats that I need to roll us back to. Kags Cagnia has a super chat for $4.99. Just wanted to say thank you. Thanks, Kags. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kags. Thank you very much.
And then, of course, Daniel Castelli. Daniel has a super chat for $4.99. Great news! I talked to Mandy at Comic Sketch Art. I only have to wait 2 years to be put on a waiting list. Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding? Really?
We in the US call that gangsta. Is that true? Is that actually true? A 2-year wait list for a Dave Finch sketch? That's insanity.
Let me just point out that,
right.
As it is, Meredith was busy today, and I couldn't get a hold of her, and I had to put up the thing for the sketch, and so I finally just said, you know what, heck with it, we're doing Batman. So that's how this happened. This actually is not a commission.
I'm sure it could be.
Sure, but you know.
Maybe we'll put it aside. It's going to be so kick-ass. Okay, here's the deal. We've got to give people incentive. This is the piece. When Dave hits 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, this is a piece that we will pull a name for. I don't know yet. People have sent us how to do it.
Really? Yeah?
Yes, they have.
Okay, good.
I told you that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to see the name on here because they're here every week. And I know you know who I'm talking about, you, because I saw you on the Discord, you posted it.
Not a person?
Not a person. Thank you.
See,
how could I forget?
You did tell me, and
not a person.
I remember now that you say it.
Forget about not a person. All right, super chat from Nick Lenz for $2. I miss your interior artwork, David.
Nick, well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for the sentiment. I have interior art coming. One day. It's coming. One day.
Maybe 2 years. Maybe it'll be 2 years.
It'll be less than 2 years, but yeah,
Maybe well. But it'll be epic when it comes out. I say that. I call it his magnum opus.
Well, the best that I could do, I'll say that. That's for sure. I really...
It's your Wrightson...
This will be the book...
Wrightson Frankenstein.
Okay, I'm not saying that.
I am.
Thanks, that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, nothing to live up to there now.
I keep in the teeth all the time. I might as well.
I want to angle his hand backward. But what I will say is that this book, when it does come out, there's always going to be things that I dislike and think, but I put everything I had into every page. If there's something that didn't work or whatever, man, I gave it everything I had.
That's true.
I don't want to hear about it. You know what?
All right, I got super chats backing up here as you wax on about your maybe coming out sometime in the next 3 years book. Doc Matthews is a super chat for $10. Welcome back, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Love BVS, Zack Snyder, Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder cut, and the Man of Steel. Bat saving Martha Scene is the true comic book Bat. What are your honest thoughts on the DC films and Snyder's visual? I'm 38 and get sick of the MCU childverse. Love you too. I love you too. Joshua Tree is my favorite album. I know he's kidding. He loves us, but anyway. Batman, Man of Steel, Zack Snyder. No, I'm not a huge Zack Snyder fan. Somebody's gonna hiss and boo at that, but
the truth is, for me, I think my ideal would be Tim Burton directing a Kevin Nolan, because I love Kevin Nolan's art. Christopher Nolan script with oversight from Christopher Nolan, but that aesthetic. That was the one thing I thought the Christopher Nolan stuff. I mean, they're phenomenal movies. Christian Bale was great. Like, really, I'm in no position to be cutting those movies down. They were great, but I like more of the fantasy kind of visual with the smoke and the lighting. I'd like to see a little bit more of that.
All right, next super chat is from Trent Early for $25. Thank you so much, Trent.
Thank you so much, Trent. Thank you very much.
I'm allergic to your office. Hey, your Batman is my favorite always.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't know what to ask, suggest something you wouldn't like doing, but I don't want to do that, but would there any way that you would draw the 89 bat symbol inside your design chest oval, if that makes sense?
That's the circle. Like this, right? Yeah. Okay. You know what? Just for you, that's what we're gonna do. I was gonna do the regular, but we're gonna do it this way because I like this one. Yeah. There we go. We'll do the oval.
All right. That's that. Got that one.
By the way, I want to say quickly before you move on, Meredith.
Yes.
That Art Jedi asked if I would lay in all the anatomy. Like I did with Silver Surfer. This was a few weeks ago. I did Silver Surfer and I drew in all the anatomy before I moved on. Normally, I keep it pretty loose like this and then just start inking, but we're going to do that. So I'm going to lighten it down and we'll keep going with the pencil just a little bit longer than I normally would, but we'll get the anatomy really kind of worked in.
Is this your, when you say, by the way, Meredith, is this your way of saying we might be here past 10?
You charge your battery, right?
I don't. All right.
So there's my shoulder.
Let's see how it goes.
Let's get his neck worked in here. There we go. Back of the neck kind of comes out into this muscle here. Got a muscle kind of connecting here.
Are you talking or it doesn't?
I'm mumbling.
I know you are.
And my chest muscle. Okay, I just want to say, because it's important, and I've never really, at least not lately, covered this. So my shoulder, I want to draw it here because I really want to explain this one. So the shoulder sits like this, and you've got your 3 lobes for your shoulder, and then you've got your chest like this. Well, your chest, people sometimes wonder, where the striations go. Well, the way they go is they actually kind of connect in here and then do some weird, I don't know, but I do know that they all come from basically here. So I'm going to draw one here and then another here, and that's how they go. And that's how you can make them actually work together with the shoulder. And it's a crappy drawing, but that's how we do it. And I hope I was on the screen. All right, we're good.
Okay. Because when you were mumbling, it kind of felt like you didn't really know what you were going to say. You were just trying to film.
Oh no, I did. When I start drawing and I'm talking like about what I'm drawing, I mumble. And actually, on the Skillshare stuff,
There's a bit of mumbling.
And I had to up the audio so much. So
there you go. All right, we have the next super chat question is from Nick Lenz. Nick, for $2. Nick wants to know what character I would love to write. I still want to do one of the female X-Men characters, like
Magic.
I'd like to do Magic. I really would. I think that's one. Like if I have one character that I haven't written yet, that I would.
X-23.
No,
I'm just throwing names out there. No? Oh, I like X-23.
I don't really know enough about X-23. Like I watched the Wolverine movie, but Magic, there's just something. But Magic's more fantasy. You know what I mean? That's why. Like she has more of a fantasy feel for me, and that's I think why I really like her.
Yeah, let me turn this.
There you go.
Let's see what we're doing here.
Michael Johnson Curry in the house.
Oh.
Hey, Michael has a super chat for $9.99. Had a pretty mean critique of Man-Thing art I posted on Discord by an editor today. Ended saying there are no openings now in comics, may not be for me. What art careers are good for a skill set from comics?
Okay.
Oh, that's so sad.
An editor said there are no openings in comics and may not be for him?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people said that to Dave too, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me just say, the first editor that I talked to, and I do remember what company it was for. They're not around anymore, and, I'm sure I probably even met the guy since then. I just don't even remember, but get my shoulder really defined in there. But, yeah, he told me, I showed him my work, and he pulled out some samples that somebody, or it wasn't samples, it was actually commissioned work from an artist, and he said, an artist just turned in this stuff, apparently at the convention or whatever, and he pulled it out, and I said, wow, yeah, that looks really good. And he said, this is crap. He didn't say this is crap. I don't want to swear on here, Anyway.
He said it's SH stuff.
Right. And he said, this is garbage, and this is infinitely better than any of the stuff you're doing. You're wasting my time. So, yeah, that was fun. That was an editor.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was for like an indie company that, hasn't been around in years. I had there were a few people I had people that were incredibly supportive and helpful. Kyle Hotz, the most helpful artist that I talked to when I was trying to break in. He was great. Dan Fraga was great. And Mike Vignola was a little testy with me. I think actually what he said, and he was so totally helpful, so I don't want to just, call him out, but he said, I get so sick of people coming up with art that looks like this. And I thought, oh no, here we go. And he said, no, don't get me wrong. It's fine. It's just, I can see that you're not looking at your work in a mirror. You need to look at it backwards because it's skewed here. And he showed me and it was like a revelation for me just with one thing. But yeah, he's very, blunt. So yeah, it was scary. But yeah, don't let an editor anywhere crush your dreams. I don't know where these people come from. I'm sure jobs are hard everywhere. I heard Meredith actually just told me that DC is really restructuring, so I best wishes and prayers go for everyone there. I have no idea. I'd heard that there's restructuring, and that means hardships for some people, and who knows, maybe I don't know, but I will say that
our hearts go out to those people.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I wasn't ready when I started drawing. I wasn't ready when I got work. Actually, I really got work before I really had any right to. And I even when I was working, I had people that were very dismissive. And it can be very hard on the ego and make you want to quit. And don't let those people do it. And as a matter of fact, I really think the difference. My experience, because we had a lot of people come into Top Cow, new artists would come in, and the difference between the ones that made it and the ones that didn't, because a lot didn't, and nobody got fired, people would just leave. They would just quit. It wasn't worth it. I think the pressure would be too much. We were pretty chill there, I think, but it was pressure because, you see Mark Silvestri's at a table and he's drawing. Mike Turner is there drawing, and, Joe Benitez and some of the Billy Tan. And it's daunting when you come in and you have to compete with that, and some people just couldn't handle it. I struggled, mightily. And it's not talent that makes people make it or not make it. It really is the drive to push through, and you're going to have weaknesses in your work. You can overcome those. You can always work through weaknesses. What you can't work through is quitting. So anyway, sorry.
No problem. Thank you. I think that hopefully, Michael, that helped sort of inspire you not to give up on yourself. Yeah. Don't do it. And the people that I saw that left, I never saw any of them again anywhere else. It's not like they came up later, and I'm sure a lot of them thought, okay, this place is not for me. Well, they didn't last. I never saw them come up anywhere again, and it's a shame. Incredibly talented artists, some of them too, and it's amazing. It's so much work, and I'm sure so many of you know it's very difficult to get your work seen and to get your foot in the door somewhere, and then to just throw it away. Anyway, don't let an editor do that to you. Our next super chat is from Gal Rosk for $5. Gal Rosk says, I love armor and swords, but they are very difficult to keep consistent. How do you handle complex armor and weapons design and keep them consistent?
Oh, well, thank you so much for the super chat, and I just want to say that I don't know. Okay, the way that I do it is, especially if I'm designing it myself, or if I'm not designing it myself, I make sure that I have a master image where I've drawn everything and it's the right way, and I keep that as a photocopy or on my screen, whatever it is, at all times, so I can refer back to it. Because panel 4 or 5, or page 4 or 5, book 4, whatever, as I go along, I forget, and then I end up finding out, I'm drawing something totally different, and it gets published, and it certainly happened to me. So I would say there's no secret to it beyond just making sure that you have reference and, just refer to it. You don't need to, copy it every time, obviously. Hey, Atomic Art's here. But, just be sure to refer back to your reference.
All right. Next super chat is Daniel Castelli for $4.99. Daniel says, it's true. I'm going to take your Skillshare course and draw it myself. And then he makes a funny face. By the way, he says, I finished Rose Volume 1. I see a Netflix deal in your future. Oh, thank you so much, Daniel. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I don't know about the Netflix deal, but I just like to see people read the book and enjoy it.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm cutting you off when you're talking about Red. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'm talking about me now, and it's not all about you.
And actually, I wasn't done anyway. Go on.
No.
No, you're done. Okay, that's it.
I'm done now.
I basically have all my...
I'm not done now.
Anatomy drawn in now. And it's very different for me. I'm not used to seeing a figure drawn with all the anatomy like that. I never do it.
All right, are you inking now?
I'm gonna get in his cape.
Okay. All right, while you're doing his cape, Sabath Tazi 1 has a $5 super chat, and he said, how would you do a Thomas Wayne Batman head sketch at a con? I don't understand that question. I feel badly, Sabath Tazi, but in the sense, like, you just do Thomas Wayne as Batman?
The only way
as a head sketch?
Yeah.
Is it complicated?
The only way that I could answer that question is to just honestly say, if somebody said, hey, can you draw Thomas Wayne? What I would do is draw, my standard, basically superhero head, truthfully, because Thomas Wayne he's got a standard superhero head. He really does.
Yeah.
And then make him look a little bit older. And the way that I would do that is just a little bit more lines around the eyes, just a bit. And a little bit, around the nose, but not too much. And maybe a little bit of wrinkling in the neck. I'd keep it very mild because he's never really depicted as that old. And then I would just put him in a tux. That would be my trick.
Perfect. All right, we have another super chat from Nick Lenz for $2. Nick says, view on live action Avengers Tower. I'm not sure. I feel like
view on how I like the live action, like the Avengers Tower in the movies.
Oh, sure.
Okay, well, you know what?
You got that.
My Avengers Tower, I can't remember who designed it. I didn't when I did New Avengers, but yeah, I can't remember who designed it. But somebody had already. Okay, it's not true. I'm like trying to defend myself right now. I did a version. It was too complex.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I got carried away.
Everything you do.
And they felt like nobody else would be like nobody. I couldn't have drawn it myself either consistently. It was stupid, and so they somebody else who was less of a moron came in, and it wasn't Joe Quesada for that one, but yeah, somebody else designed it. And then actually, I don't know if any of you remember, this is a little while ago now, but there was like a sentry kind of tower on top of it, and that was designed by Jay Lee.
We are so flippin' far behind in the super chats right now, but I'm not too worried about it because apparently Dave's going to keep us here all night. So.
Yeah, well, I have to draw the whole gargoyle, and I do.
Oh my gosh, do not! I'm going to punch you. I will. I don't like to appear on Monday Night Draw, but I might appear with my hands around your neck.
I am drawing the gargoyle.
Nick Lenz has another super chat question for $2. He wants to know, how did Catwoman election night come about? That was right after Wonder Woman, wasn't it?
It was.
I think it was right after Wonder Woman. I was talking to Dan Diddy about doing something and what I wanted to do and pitching a few ideas around. He's like, well, because I really wanted to do... were you still working on Batman then?
Yeah.
I had like a Batgirl story idea I pitched, but they had, that might have been around, I don't remember who was on Batgirl at the time, but they had a good Batgirl team, so he's like, what about if you did a Catwoman story? I'm like, I'd love to do a Catwoman story. And so it was right around the time of the election, and at the time, not Mark Brooks. Oh my gosh.
Mark Doyle.
No, not Mark Doyle, the guy who did the other half of the book, The Flintstones. Oh. Somebody on this chat knows, but I won't see the answer for another half an hour by the time I get down there. But whoever it is, post for everybody who's actually caught up in the chat who the person was that wrote the Flintstones at the back of that.
Nobody knows.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody knows.
Anyway, that's how it came about. And he's like, how about working with Shane? Oh my gosh. Is it past my bedtime already? What happened? I didn't have a glass of wine tonight. That's what's wrong. Who's the artist on that book? He's so good too. I want to say Shane Doyle, but now you said Mark Doyle, and now it's like Mark, Shane. Oh my gosh, who was it?
Don't do this to me. I'm the worst with names, and now you got me going.
Shane. He was so good too.
He's such a nice guy. He's great, and he's a very popular artist.
Oh my gosh, what happens when you get old? I swear I can feel my brain melting out of my ears. Yeah. Colin Dyer's on the chat. Stop it. Colin, you better not be here. That's not true, actually. If you're here, I'm glad you're here, Colin. And hey, Colin, you're the greatest. All right, next to Dave.
Since Meredith's not going to say, Colin is the artist on...
Well, we talk about the Book of Ruth all the time.
The Book of Ruth. Well, you know.
So I assume people would know, but Colin is the artist, the incredible artist from the Book of Ruth. So shout out to Colin, everybody. And if you... Mark Russell, thank you! Callum Russ, maybe somebody else said that, but yes, that's who it is. Mark Russell was a Flintstone guy.
Right.
All right, and Gerald Lang gave us a super chat. Thanks so much, Jerry, for $5.
Oh,
no
thank
comment,
you, Jerry.
Just 'cause Jerry loves us, and we love Jerry.
These are the best.
Jerry. People are the best. All right, and Manuel Mesquita gave us a super chat for 50 pesos. Thank you so much, Manuel.
Thank you very much.
Like a super chat again. No question. Just wanted to say super
thank
chat.
you, Manuel.
Unless I missed something, but and then Nick Lenz super chat again for $2, saying that he loved meeting us in 2018. We loved meeting you too. And then he had super chat again just so I knew that we met in MegaCon Orlando. I missed that show. It was supposed to happen. That's the one show I was really looking forward to going to.
We always look forward to too, because we end up going to, I think Disney. Last time we went to Disney, because we've been to the show a couple of times, and we've gone to Disney World a few times, and we went to Universal Studios last time with the kids. We always bring the kids.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to going this year because we were going to get together with some of the people who supported the Book of Ruth Kickstarter. Like that was a tier, right, to have dinner, and that in San Diego, that was another big one that didn't work out. We have a super chat from Ghetto Comic for $1. Thank you so much, Ghetto Comic.
Thank you.
And then another super chat for $10 from Doc Matthews. Doc says, I'm a programmer and have a specific way I want to present my comic digitally, maybe with music for certain sections. But I love physical comics more. Tell me how to make your comic friendly for both. I think you would just have to put a link. This is what comes to me right away is like a QWERTY code or some kind of a link at the front of the comic and say, if you want to listen to the soundtrack for this comment, go here. And then, but at that point, what you'd have to do is have an entire soundtrack across the comic. That being said, I just had somebody do that for the Light Princess book I did for Cave Pictures Publishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he scored the entire comic to like instrumental music.
Wow.
And then sent it to me, and it was amazing to listen to the way he interpreted her losing her gravity and in the lake and Princess Macmino, and like it was beautiful. So I would say, Doc Matthews, that might be the way to go, unless, David, you have a better idea.
Not so much a better idea, but I will say that, you know, Marvel and DC, when they do digital comics,
But he wants to do it for both.
Well, they're doing physical comics, and they're just, what they'll do is they'll take the finished page, they'll break out the panels, and then as you click on panels, the panels will grow. You know what I mean? Like,
He wants to incorporate music, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, truthfully. The problem is that I draw comics. I don't really, the actual production, that whole end it's a different job.
All right. Going back to the next super chat from Nick Lenz for $2. Your least favorite character to draw, David? My guess is Iron Man. His suit's always changing.
Yes. It's almost like you've heard me say that before. Thank you so much, Nick, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And yes, I'm going to go with Iron Man. There are a few others.
What's the big head guy? MODOK?
I like MODOK.
No, who is it then? Thanos? No.
Oh, Galactus.
Oh, Galactus. When somebody asks you for Galactus, I can practically hear you.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't draw a killer Galactus, but it's a lot.
Every line, I have to look at my reference.
Yeah, you have to reference everything.
Oh, yeah. I think if I was drawing a Galactus book, I would still have to do that. Like, probably. I don't know when I would. It's just, yeah. I don't have a natural feel for Jack Kirby. I love his designs, and they work great. Like, I love how they come out, but yeah, hard for me to internalize.
All right. Artsy Designs has a super chat for $4.99. Says, hey Dave, my second week live. Love Batman since I was a kid. Will you be adding Harley or Joker?
Oh, well,
not to this one.
Not to this one. Space. Thank you very much for the super chat.
We need that one, yes, for next time.
But yeah, the only way for me to add a whole other figure, and I've done it. I did a Spider-Man with Venom, and we should do something like that again. It really is for me to do one figure one week and another figure the other week, because
and you plan it to know that that's
right. I just can't say, hey Meredith, we're going to do this for 5 hours.
Yeah, no. I'll quit.
Right. So
I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
I'll be like, mic drop. It's 10 o'clock. Boom.
10:30. You're good till 10:30.
I can go till 10:30. But if I knew you were drawing 2 characters and we are going to be there for 5 hours,
you'd be gone at 9.
Early. I might leave at 9:30. So, all right. Another super chat from Trent Early for $10. Thank you so much, Trent. Trent says, thank you so much, Mr. Finch. I hope the 89 bat symbol is really okay. I wouldn't want you to do it if you prefer the other one. You're the most humble, kind artist, true role model for any aspiring artist.
Well, thank you very much, Trent.
That's so nice, Trent. Really... You only say that because you don't live with him. He's not really that nice. Oh, I jest. You're very nice, David. You're a great husband. I love living with you. When you are stressed out, though, sometimes.
See, now it sounds like you. Okay.
You are.
Once you put the qualifier in there, that sounds like you.
Yeah, right? Like.
You're great, but well.
Then, the times when you aren't great.
Okay, well, and for the record, first of all, thank you very much for the super chat. It's very appreciated, and I am happy to draw the 80s symbol. I never get a chance to do it, and I've always liked it. I had a Batman toy when I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of toys, you know, and I won it. I think it was like a Cubs thing. Anyway, so it's kind of special for me.
Moving right along. Oh my gosh, I'd say I'm the worst. I'm really always in a mood.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it. This is me every Monday night. One Mighty R has a super chat for $5. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I challenge you to a draw. If I win, I get to be a moderator. Ha 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 ha. Are you game?
I don't know. We might have to look into that. And thank you very much for the super chat, Mighty. And One Mighty R has a YouTube channel. He's doing really well with it. It's coming up. And yeah, maybe that's something I've really enjoyed doing that with Dr. Rock. So, you know, maybe.
Every once in a while my screen reboots and I gotta go back so I don't miss all the super chats. Alright, so my next super chat question was from Nick Lenz again. For $2, Nick wants to know, did you have fun on New Avengers?
Thank you again for the super chat, Nick. And I had fun and I was miserable on that book all at the same time. And I enjoyed it. It was Brian Bendis. It had Wolverine, you know, it had Spider-Man and Captain America, and you know, it was an absolute blast. At the same time, it was very different. The Avengers hadn't really changed for years and years, and it was a bit of an older fashioned kind of book. And it had a fan base that liked it that way and was very attached to it that way, and they really did not take the new direction we went with it. I know when I started drawing it, I was very concerned because I have a darker art style, and I just didn't feel comfortable drawing Avengers. And I remember talking to Brian and saying, I don't know how to draw that kind of book, and he said, just do what you do. And so, you know, I just did it the way that I felt comfortable. It was a very different feel, and a lot of people were very unhappy with that, and I took it really personally. It's something, it was such a high profile book at the time. It was the biggest book in the business. Every issue was like, it was huge when it came out. I think to this day it's got to be my most successful book that I've done, you know. And maybe not the highest selling, but like proportionally, yeah. And I got in my head so much about it, I felt like everybody hated me, and I ended up quitting ultimately. And it's a mistake that I regret still, and I've never done that again. I've never quit for that reason. I've never gotten so much in my head that, you know, and I was talking earlier about, you know, newer artists coming into Top Cow and quitting. Well, you know, that was my experience doing basically that, just defeating myself because I felt like I thought, you know, if I do something like Moon Knight, nobody cares about Moon Knight, right? It'll be easy because it's such a small character. I'll just be able to do whatever I want with it. And by the way, I was totally wrong. Moon Knight has some of the most passionate fans, and some of them were great. I'm sure they're all great. I mean, they love the character. Some of them truly hated me though. But by then, I kind of learned a little bit of perspective. So yeah, you know, some people are not going to like what you do, and you have to respect that. But at the same time, you know, you have to be true to what you believe in. So yeah, Avengers taught me that. Too late for Avengers for me, unfortunately.
All right. Next super chat is from Daniel Castelli for $1.99. Thank you again, Daniel. He says, Drew Struzan working for DC. Check out Instagram.
No kidding. Well, thank you, Daniel, for the super chat very much. I really appreciate it. And
tidbit of information.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that out.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't been on Instagram for weeks.
Have I mentioned that I got to meet Drew Struzan before?
He's very nice. He had no idea who you were.
No, but it's not the point. I mean,
I know, it's so funny that when you go up and you're like gushing to people. And
hi, I'm a comic book artist.
No, you don't even. You never say that. But you're just like, oh, I just love your social.
He wouldn't have cared. He was a very nice guy. Yeah.
So cute. You're so cute. All right, Kevin Ford has a super chat for $4.99. Thoroughly enjoyed your work in Forever Evil. Which character other than Batman was your favorite to draw? Love the Yellow Lantern Batman panel.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for the super chat. And I completely just blanked out because I was thinking, I just saw Kevin.
Kevin Ford?
Yeah, I think on Skillshare he signed up to my thing, and I wanted to say thank you. So, what was the question?
He loved your work on Forever Evil. Which character other than Batman was your favorite to draw? And he loved the Yellow Lantern Batman panel.
Thank you. What book?
Forever evil.
Okay.
Third time. 2. What is going on in your head right now?
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely Lex Luthor for sure.
You know what? Bizarro. He really
Bizarro and then Lex Luthor to start, and then I loved Bizarro so much he was my favorite, and we killed him, which
sucked.
Yeah, never ever forgive Jeff Johns for that.
All right, but we still like Jeff.
Oh, of course, we get a Christmas basket from him.
He doesn't love us anymore.
No, not this last year. Well,
we're off his Christmas card list.
Had to happen.
Next super chat from Nick Lenz for $2. How did Gotham and Gotham Girl come about? I know the answer.
Okay, you tell him.
You tell him. I want to know if you know the answer.
Okay, well, Batman. When Tom King was deciding what he wanted to do with the book, he felt like Batman is always facing villains, and what would happen if he faced heroes, like legitimate heroes that are stronger and more like Superman and could just replace him and do everything that he could do better? And how would he deal with something like that? And that's really how they came about. And also because he has a boy and a girl. Oh, is that? See, I didn't even know that. See, now you got like a nuanced answer. Also about his kids too. See, this is the thing. I because you actually talked to him about family. I'm the worst with that kind of thing. I'm no good at small talk. They're named, I think Claire was the Gotham Girl, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's his daughter's name. Wow, I can't believe I didn't know that. There you go. All right, Nikki Rule has a super chat for $9.99, and just a super chat. There's no question or anything. So. Well, thank you, Nikki. Thank you very much, Nikki, for the super chat. All right, another super chat from Nick for $2. Nick gave us his business cards. Nick, thank you so much. I'm sorry we don't have the business card anymore, but sometimes things just get lost. Like we're going through cleaning stuff out. That's not necessarily true. I've got a big stack. Got a big stack. Yeah, but from 2018. I very well might. Oh, there you go. Thank you again for the super chat, Nick. And another super chat from Nick, who came up with a Batman Inc. costume. That was the Grant Morrison one, right? Yes, and it was my design based on Grant Morrison's description. Cool. All right. Joe Wills Art. A super chat for $5. Joe says, nice. You're doing Batman. I just did a Mr. Freeze live a couple days ago. Great minds. Oh, that's awesome, Joe. You remember. You guys are in the Batverse. I keep saying you remember Joe, but you never did the live streams on Jimmy's channel where, Joe was on there. We talked quite a bit. He's great. Every time I see him on here, hi, Joe. It's great to have you on here. Thank you. All right. Cheeto Valentine is a super chat for $5. That is a great name. Cheeto Valentine. Yeah. A drawing professor told me once that there are no convex lines in nature. I think about it a lot when drawing. Would you be inclined to agree? No. No, not at all. I'm not sure I understand. Do you know a concave and convex? One curves this way and the other curves inward. Concave makes a cave, convex curves outward. I don't know how you could have no convex lines in art. I don't understand. I don't understand either. Like any. Okay, look, if I'm going to draw. I'm going to Google it. I'm Googling. Everybody Google convex lines in nature. Let's say I'm drawing an arm. Now this is. I'm going to talk about drawing because I don't know nature, but here would be a convex line. And here I could draw a concave line in a convex. But convex, rock with concave lines here. Concave versus convex, yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. In my opinion, sometimes professors, artsy people can say really completely contradictory and ridiculous things. To make themselves seem smart. Yeah, I remember talking to somebody. He was studying heads, and he had this whole mathematical formula with all these like real formulas all over the place and all this stuff. And he's struggling with it. And he's saying, what do I think of this? And I told him what I thought. I mean, I don't want to be like a jerk and say you're wasting your time. Like this is insanity. And I could. That's what you were thinking. Yes, and I could tell when I was saying this is what I do. I don't do any of that. he was tuning right out. Like, it's not what he wanted to hear at all.
You didn't have the mystical answer.
No, and so
All right.
I don't know. That to me sounds like insanity.
All right. Next super chat is from Galros for $5. Oh, sorry.
I thought I had my brush, and all I have is a stem. Oh, it's not good.
There's one underneath with, is it a whiteout thingy? Like under the counter.
Under the counter.
See, way under
That's
there.
a whiteout thingy.
There's another brush right there.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Great. Okay, we're saved.
All right.
Whew.
All right. Next super chat from Galros for $5. Any chance of seeing you bring back Lucian and Ascension? I can't be the only person that has asked. The wings, man! The wings! So freaking cool!
Wow. That's very emotive of you.
Well, I have to read them as they're written.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I
And they are
appreciate it.
Cool. Very good.
I don't know if there's a chance. I'm not going to say that there's no chance because I would love to do it. Top Cow owns it. I would want to have an ownership stake, and I don't know if that's something. I've actually talked to Mark Silvestri about, us doing something, and, we were really seriously talking about it.
Do they still own it, though? I don't think they do.
Yes, they still own it.
I don't know that they do. I think the rights reserved back to you after so many years.
Well, we'll have to look into it. I would love to do it again. I really would. And actually, it's more fantasy-based, something that I think you would...
Actually, yeah. Meredith can write Ascension.
She says about herself in the third person.
Sometimes. You gotta talk about yourself in the third person.
No, you don't really.
Sometimes you do.
I managed to go my whole life without doing that.
Well, Meredith sometimes needs to talk about herself in the third person.
That says a lot about a person, I think.
That's why I'm the writer. So that's all you need to know. All right. Next super chat question from Nick Lenz. Thank you again, Nick. Nick wants to know if you've ever met Jim Aparo.
Aparo. And thank you very much again for the super chat, Nick. I have not, unfortunately. I was never able to meet him. I was able to meet Stan Lee quite a few times, and I'm very grateful for that. I never got to meet Jack Kirby, which is very sad. He actually passed away a year before I got into comics, so I really never had the chance. And he passed away before I even had ever gone to a comic convention. So I think it was like the first comics news magazine that I got. It was announcing that he had passed away. And at that time, I really didn't even really know who he was. I was new to comics, so that's a shame. I never got to meet Frank Frazetta, which, I don't know how I would have got the opportunity. He was actually at San Diego. One time I was there, and I wasn't able to get to where he was. Somebody told me afterwards, and I missed my chance. I did get to meet Simon Bisley a bunch of times. I got to meet Bernie Wrightson. Now I'm going to go through my whole list of
Maddie Mate, I hope that I say this right. Mate Dragon has a super chat for $5. Mate says, I love your work. Any advice or resources on drawing and rendering really curly hair? I haven't been able to find good examples in modern comics. That is a good question.
It really is. Thank you very much, Maddie, for the super chat. I don't know of any. That is a really good point.
When you do your hair tutorial, you should do like different types of hair and textures and stuff.
Yeah, I'd really like to. Now, I'm still trying to figure out. I have my next tutorial coming up on this channel. I keep saying Tuesday. Wednesday. Let me just say it's Wednesday because it ends up getting done.
It can't be the Tuesday tutorial.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Monday night draw.
Right. So it ends up being Wednesday, but maybe I'll do that one on hair. I don't know. I really should actually have that kind of ironed out by now because it's tomorrow.
In case everyone wants to know, we fly by the seat of our pants here.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things going on.
What are you doing? Drawing pictures in your basement?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a cover that I'm mostly finished with, that when this is finished, I'm going to whip that back out and get back to work on it.
I'm taking your board, by the way, because my computer's digging into my legs.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you need to help Maddie with hair.
Okay.
Nick has another super chat to say, I love the new Avengers. So,
Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you.
Nick,
You know,
Nick $2 super chats his way through the night, and I love it because he gets all his questions asked.
yeah, and it's very, very,
perfect.
very. And look, I want to say, when I was doing Avengers, it was really my first exposure to fans on the internet, because you meet people in person, and everybody's very nice. Whereas when you go to a message board, it can be not as nice. And you know, I wish I had access to this kind of community then. I think I would have been a much happier artist. You know, it's very invigorating talking to people that like what you do, you know. And especially so many artists, like, you know, Joe Willis does beautiful stuff. I think it's a privilege to have him here. And you know, we have Colin's here, you know, so
there you go. All right, next super chat is also from Nick. He says Moon Knight was awesome.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much again for the super chat, and thank you.
All right, and then we have a super chat from Inkheart 181 for $5. Hi, David Meredith. Thank you so much for doing this. My question is, how do you draw facial proportions from extreme angles, like looking up at someone? Did you do that in your Skillshare?
I sure did.
Inkheart.
We got you hooked up.
It's on the Skillshare. If you're not part of Skillshare, it's a big enough course. Dave's going to also post it on Udemy.
And, you know, by the way, Skillshare, if you sign up, you get 2 months free.
2 months free, so you can watch the course and then unsign.
And then, yeah, you could cancel.
So there you go. Sign up, get your 2 months free, watch the course, and
don't tell them I said that.
And don't tell
Not that they're, you know,
that we said that you
Skillshare, they don't know exactly.
But that would be, I think you covered all of that in your Skillshare.
Yes,
course.
absolutely.
So you don't even have to pay for it. Just go sign up on Skillshare. All right. Next super chat is from Doc Matthews for $5. Give us your top tools for a $50 budget, $100 to $150 budget, and an unlimited budget. What are the most important and optional tools? Also, HB, 2H, 2H, or H?
2H.
But that depends on how hard you push.
No.
No?
2H.
All right.
It depends on how humid it is. If it gets really humid,
then you use H.
I use H, and that happens not very often. I haven't used H actually for a bit. And it also, sometimes it can depend on the paper. So I will say, okay, if the paper is fighting you and it really feels like 2H is just not even laying down line, then go to H, which is a little softer. HB is way too soft. Now, I know there are artists that actually will do detail with a
But you're digressing from the question. You're getting caught up in the pencil.
Oh, okay.
And what he's asking is, if you have a $50 budget, what are the most important things you should spend your money on?
Okay, the most important thing you can spend your money on, I think, is paper. Absolutely. Because really bad paper means you'll be breaking up the paper when you erase. It makes everything much more difficult. Paper makes the most difference. So I would say, yeah, good paper. This is Strathmore 200 series. I love it because actually I got this from Bat, the inker. Not this paper exactly, but I started using it because of Bat, and it just takes the ink really well. Any kind of a quill, anything like that. So I would say paper is the most important. Then from there, your pencil really, you know, I like it's just a Strathmore or Staedtler. These are cheap. So there's no really, I don't see why you would ever want a more expensive pencil than this. You don't need anything this nice even, but these are cheap. And for these pens, I've tried a bunch. Microns are fine. They're all fine, really. Like, there's very little difference between them. So I would say, you know, anyone's fine. These are a pretty good standard, and they're not expensive. If you have an unlimited budget, I would recommend Molotow for pens. And I love Molotow. I haven't had any for ages. And actually, some people have recommended places where I can get them, and I just I've been so busy. I'm running out of tools. I need to order some stuff again. So I'll see if I can go back and figure out where I can get some Molotows. They're the best, I think. Anyway, my opinion.
All right.
And for brushes, I use these. This is a Pentel brush, super cheap, not very accurate. This is actually, they have two sizes. They have a finer one and a thicker one. This is a thicker one. I don't really care if I use a finer or a thicker because I can't really get much detail with them anyway. I'm terrible with these. If you can get more detail with a brush and you're better with a brush, I would recommend one of these or an actual dip brush, which is probably the best. But this is actually sable. Mine's totally dried out. I never use it really. I don't know why. I should, but.
Next super chat comes from Nick. How long did the 4-page spread in Forever Evil #1 take? Weeks. 2 weeks?
Nah. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's the kind of page, honestly, that could take me, 4 days, 3 days, or, a month, depending on how much time, where I am in the deadline. Because I think it was issue 1, it took forever. I'm always longer on issue 1s of things. Also, it took a long time because in the script, it described certain characters that ultimately, because of story reasons and, whatever, couldn't be in the spread. And it was a big crossover book, so a lot of moving parts and different books going on. And so I had to actually erase some major characters and draw in different characters on top and do some fixing that way. And that certainly added to the time.
Next super chat is from Nick, just to tell us he's got new business cards. So next time we see him in Orlando, I want a new business card, Nick. They better be cool.
Yeah, thank you again, Nick.
All right. And a super chat from Manuel Mesquita again for 50 Mexican pesos. Hi, both Dave and Meredith. When will you have a comic... Hi, both. Meredith, when will you have a comic book again? Dave, will you ever do a Monday where you review, 3 portfolios? I don't know. Hi from Mexico.
Hi, Manuel, and thank you very much for the super chat. And I won't be doing reviews on Mondays, but I will be doing, and I need to talk to Robert Marzullo. I'm sorry, Robert. He replied in the last one. He said, "You forgot my name," and that popped into my head right now, and it totally froze me up, and I was about to forget it. I forget my family's name.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's been calling the new dog the old dog's name for about
a year.
No, actually,
since we got the new one, yeah, I don't know what happened.
Only since we got the puppy.
Yeah, and I can't stop myself from doing it. But yeah, I did a portfolio review with Robert Marzullo on his channel 2-3 weeks ago. I thought it went great. I thought that some of them went very long, and it was a little. So what we're gonna do, we've talked about it. We're just gonna limit it down to 10 minutes each, and make sure that people also know that it's a maximum of, I think, 2 pieces probably, just to keep things moving is a good idea. We had a few, yeah, and we had some artists that were absolutely incredible, and I wanted to see more, and next thing you know, we're looking at 10 pages and it's great stuff, but we had a lot of people waiting. So yes, and we will be doing it again very soon. I'll talk to Robert. If you want, go ahead and pressure him directly.
All right.
So,
and to answer my portion of the question, I'm working on some stuff right now. I did another book through Kate Pictures Publishing, who published The Light Princess that I wrote, and also they put the Book of Ruth out after the Kickstarter. But I think we're going to end up kickstarting It's Fantasties, another book that's adapted from George MacDonald, and we're going to end up kickstarting to be able to finish that book. So that's written, and then I'm working on some new stuff. And
partially drawn. I think it's like half drawn.
Oh yeah, it's halfway through. 3 of the 6 issues are drawn. So, and I'm working on some new stuff, but I don't have anything coming out soon, with the exception of Ruth hitting comic book shops. Unfortunately, we're kind of in I'm in a transitional period right now.
Well, you have been incredibly busy with a different project, writing based, but yeah, and it's going to result in a lot more work soon.
Well, and then
being out there, but
and then there was that whole me quitting comics.
Right, that'll put a dent in your schedule.
And that lasted for
a week, not even
a few months.
Did it really?
Months. I was going to conventions. I was like, I'm going to conventions. Last conventions, I was like, yeah, I'm retiring. I'm not going to write comics anymore.
Oh man,
and it was very freeing. And I took a break after Ruth, and I was like, no, this is going to be it for me. And then that is not what God had planned. So
it seemed like it lasted no time at all. I remember when you said that, I was like, thank God.
But there it is.
And then he came right back.
All right. Nick Lenz has another super chat question. Nick wants to know how Cyberforce came about.
Well, for me, it's Mark Silvestri's book, is his first image book, and my first credit actually was drawing a couple of pages of backgrounds on Cyberforce, and Joe Benitez, who had gotten into Top Cow before me and was further along, had his own book called Weapon Zero already. He was working on it. Mike Turner was very new at the studio. He had just gotten there, and I think, everybody else had a job. I don't know what he was thinking putting me on that book, but he did, and I'm very, very grateful. It was an absolute blast to do. I did an annual for it, and then he said he wanted to stop drawing it, and he brought me into his office and asked if I would do it, and I was thrilled. I thought, wow, I'm going to be the artist of Cyberforce, and that was my first experience with really realizing just how much I love Cyberforce, because I love Mark Silvestri's work, and without him on it, it was a real challenge for me to fall in love with that book again, because I just couldn't live up, and it was a tough go actually for a bit. It always has been for me. I wish I could say, oh, this is always just easy and I'm always having a great time. I am, but it's I'm sure all of you artists, the struggles you go through, just the self-doubt. So yeah, it was a real thing for me on that book. It was my first book too, so it was very scary.
All right. So the next super chat is from Jerry Lang again for $5. Jerry says, I want to see you use more watercolor. Work out of your comfort zone. Viewers can relate to that. I've seen my friend John Foster fail wonderfully live with a new media.
Oh man,
Dave is
Jerry.
not gonna do that, Jerry.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I've actually, look, I would say, oh yeah, hey, maybe, except that I've actually tried watercolor a couple times and completely failed without anybody watching. I tend to draw, actually, I feel like it's easier for me to draw when I'm not talking, because I can just sit and concentrate, and things get a little wonky when I'm talking. But yeah, especially with...
Yeah, when you're concentrating, it'd be harder to talk. The sole responsibility would end up on Meredith.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. To give you an idea just of how far behind in the super chats we are, this is Nick Lenz's super chat. I met Bernie Wrightson 6 months before he passed.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah.
Do you remember how long ago we were talking about?
That was like,
what was that, 30 minutes ago?
Well,
so behind.
And thank you again, Nick, for the super chat.
Today. Have you noticed that you're very chatty today?
No, am I?
You are. You're very chatty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all right. People like to hear it. Brad Scott Art has a super chat for $19.99. Thank you so much, Brad. Do I say Brad Scott? Or is it Brad, or is it Brad Scott?
Say Brad.
Brad. I'm going to say Brad. Hello, Miss Meredith and Dave. Can you talk a little bit about creating your action poses so characters don't look stiff? I've been trying to create more scenes with a sense of motion. And Meredith, you rock! Thank you, Brad.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Brad.
It's the voices.
Right.
This is what comes of having kids, because you just make voices. And nobody's here, so I can do it in the privacy of my basement. To 562 people. 63 people who are listening. I love the questions where people are like, who is that talking? Who's that woman?
Yeah.
Why? Why do we have a woman? I'm just here to watch Dave Finch draw.
Could she stop?
So that he can get to my super chat questions.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Here's what I would do. To make your figures more dynamic, there is an absolute way to do this. The only way that I know how, and I've seen it work for many artists, I really have. If there's a better way, it's a secret that I have never learned. So what I'm going to say is, let's see. Okay, I got a comic. This is actually a cover for Dark Knight Death Metal. This is a couple months old that I did. And so I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to draw Wonder Woman. And what I do is I'll take all kinds of different artists and life sometimes, truthfully for me, mostly different comic artists. And then I did a how to draw like a gesture drawing video, and I would really recommend, I want to make sure that I'm on the screen here. Okay, I did a gesture drawing video, and this is really all this is. So I'd recommend checking that video, but I'm going to draw her chest shape. I'm drawing her. I'm going to draw her chest shape, Her arm kind of comes out here. I'm not worrying about being super clean or nice with it. I just want to capture the essence of the figure. That's all I'm doing here. And the point of doing this is when you're trying to get all that little detail in and make sure everything's nice, things get very, very stiff easily, and it's an impossibility to avoid that. So I would say spend a good hour, spend a half an hour, however much time you have before you start drawing, and just do a bunch of these. Pick artists that you really like and just copy their poses. You're not doing it for work that's going to get published, so you can totally get away with it. And just, you know, use it to, and you'll find this stuff will inform your art when you actually go to do a job. You know, you'll have drawn something, and you do enough of these and you start to get a real feel for it. It's like handwriting. You all learn how to write, obviously, and when you first start, it's very stiff and it's very blocky, but the more you do it, it just flows, and that's how you do it. So this is what I would do is, you know, find, you know, maybe more dynamic poses than this, but just go through, and that's really the approach to do it, is just do tons of these kinds of really simple, basic figure drawings. And with that said, and this is going to put you more behind, then I apologize, Meredith, but we have to do the book of the week.
Yeah.
All right. And so for this week,
it is 9:05. It's perfect timing.
Good. All right. For this week, my book of the week is going to be Travis Terrest. This is Space Girl. And I want to zoom in a little bit because you got to see the detail on this. This is incredible. Oh, my camera's all screwed up here. It always happens. I need to bolt it to the desk. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Travis Terrest, but he is arguably the greatest artist ever, my opinion. I don't know. I'm a huge fan. So anyway, he was doing this for quite a while. I think he was just putting it on his website. And these are, for Travis, actually fairly quickly drawn. Just pen and ink, one panel at a time. And he has an incredibly tight, clean style. For this, he went actually a little bit looser, especially toward the beginning. As he goes along, it's so much his nature to tighten up, and you can see here's the last one in the book, and you can see how much tighter. He's got some watercolor in it, and Jerry, I know I can't do that though, and it's just outrageously good work. It's really beautiful, and believe it or not, he doesn't really use photo reference. I mean, you look at the stuff and you think, like, how could you do this without photo? Well, he's a genius. I've never seen anybody draw like him. He's actually a little bit like Kim Jong-ji, where he would just start on a page with panels and just fan out from an eye the whole page. It was crazy. And he's, I think, the most talented artist I've ever seen. He doesn't really work much anymore, which is a real shame. But yeah, just beautiful, incredible stuff. All the ships. And I recommend Travis actually a lot for hair, and I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I can find something where you, like, look at that hair. Incredibly done. All of my hair, in so much as I'm capable, is stolen from Travis. As a matter of fact, there's a whole period of 90s art, late 90s, early 2000s, where every artist in the business was really looking at a lot of this kind of stuff. Olivia Coipel has a real strong Travis base. Jim Chung, a lot of artists. Steve McNiven. Anyway, it's just incredible stuff. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this book. This is called, I just want to flip through the whole book because it's like, it's ridiculous. And things like this, let's flip to this stuff here. I've used this for so many years, where he's got like a fade and then he's leaving a little gap there just before the dark, and it gives it a light. And that's something that I got from Travis's work, not this book in particular, but he's been doing this stuff for years. So anyway, this is a huge book for me. It's very influential. These shapes are, and this is just a mind that, I can't touch this. I can draw these kinds of shapes. I cannot make them look like that. Nobody can. He's a genius. So anyway, Space Girl by Travis Terrest. Highly recommend it. I think there's actually a second volume that I don't have. I need to find it. Okay, moving on.
All right.
Now I lost my brush. Oh, here it is. Okay.
All right. So the next super chat was from Allison McGlone for $4.99, and Allison asked, and again, we're so behind we have answered her question, but any chance of doing portfolio reviews?
Thank you very, very much for the super chat, Allison. Yes, absolutely. Like I said just a few minutes ago, we will be, Robert Marzullo and I will be doing that again over the next 3 weeks for sure, maybe 2 weeks. I'd like to do it sooner rather than later. I enjoy doing them. They're actually very rewarding to do. And I think we have a bit of a better system to make sure it's nice and streamlined this time. So
that more people maybe can get reviewed.
Yeah.
All right. And a super chat from Anthony Gee for $4.99. Anthony says, thank you for the super chat, Anthony. He says, hey, Dave, do you recommend switching to a drafting table? I just got one, but I've always drawn flat, so I'm kind of uneasy drawing at an angle.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Anthony. I don't know that there's any advantage to it necessarily, really. I'd say if there is an advantage, it would be that it can be a little bit easy maybe to skew your picture if you're looking at it directly flat. And I found this actually at conventions. I'll draw and I notice, pencils in my way here, I'll notice that my proportions, like the bottom gets a little bit too big and the top, like the head is very, very small because I'm looking at it at an angle. That's possible. If you can account for that and that's not an issue, yeah, there's no reason to switch. To be honest with you, I work on the couch most of the time with a lap board.
Horrible, uncomfortable couch.
Yeah, I like that couch.
It hurts my back.
Yeah.
All right. Daniel Castelli has another super chat for $4.99. Daniel says, you are able to express yourself brilliantly in your art. Does that make it harder for you to express yourself outside of art?
Daniel, thank you very much. Yes.
I think the answer we all know is yes. No, you're a very eloquent speaker, David.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Meredith.
Especially when you know what you're going to say.
Okay, look,
Oh, that's awful. I'm not taking shots, really. I love
you are. I know. It's totally true though. And look, I'm totally still in my Skillshare course. I know, I'm sorry, but you know, yeah, the intro video for it, I'm actually going to post that on YouTube.
It was a little bit funny.
Yeah, because there are a million cuts because I cannot get a full sentence out. It's impossible.
Almost as funny as the intro for his YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you watch okay, there you go. If you watch the intro for my YouTube channel, you can see like cut. It's because I cannot speak a full sentence into the camera. I can right now because I'm just talking. But if I'm actually trying to plan what I'm going to say and sound like not a moron, oh, it's the worst. I can't do it. So yeah, I think I'm better expressing myself this way. So it's good that I have something, you know.
All right. Nick Lenz wants to know for his next super chat question if you liked drawing the Century.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, Nick, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I love drawing Century, especially he had short hair. The first cover that I did with him, he had his short hair, and then he was in prison, and all the Avengers go to this prison. It was like a Rikers Island kind of, I can't even remember the name of it, the Raft, and they get ambushed, and anyway, they end up finding Sentry, and then Sentry kills Carnage. And so Sentry had been in prison for so long that he had like a beard and long hair. I wanted to kind of keep the beard too, but I managed to get away with keeping the long hair when we shaved the beard. They let me do that, and I liked it, and he looked like that pretty much from then forward until they killed him. But that was my contribution to the character. I gave him long hair. I don't know if you call that a contribution, but that was all me.
All right. Next super chat question is Grant Minot for $2. He wants to know the #1 tip for getting into the industry: art and admin. Art and admin?
Okay, admin, I don't know. Okay. Not that I completely don't know. For admin, I'd say okay, I don't know the best way, truthfully, but let me tell you a way that I know. And that is that they actually do advertise positions. If you have the education and you live in the area, you can apply. And if you have the right qualifications, then it's certainly possible, like any other job. So I do know that. For art, though, I'm gonna tell you truthfully, the best way to get into the business, truthfully, is to have work that people desperately want to publish. And that is the #1 foolproof way to do it. Now, editors can be very unfair, and so can writers, and writers have too much control over what art gets published right now, and they can decide, hey, you know, this kind of a style is hip right now, and this kind of style is not hip. And if you're drawing in a style that they don't consider to be hip, it does almost not matter how good you are. It's so frustrating seeing when that kind of thing happens, and it does happen. It's just the truth. Trends happen and people suffer. But yeah, generally, really, it comes down to the work very, very much. It really, really does. Also, you have to bear in mind that editors have relationships with artists that they work with. They know which artists will meet a deadline, which won't, which artists will lie to them, and which won't. And when you're new, they don't know that. So you need to be able to kick the butt of the artists that they have there right now enough that it's worth it for them to give you the chance. Now, I would say probably the best way, though, is to start working for a smaller company. Meredith is working for Cave right now. They're always looking for artists. So that really, I think, is the best way. You do a book for somebody like Cave, and you know, stay there forever. They're a great company. But you know, you want to go from there to Marvel. Now you have a bit of a body of work. You've proven that you can meet a deadline. You can follow a script and be responsible, and you also get to know people. You go to conventions. You're a professional now. You talk to people as a professional. It makes a difference. That kind of thing really helps.
Next super chat question is my screen kicked down. I think it was Nick Lenz again saying that he has a YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
I'll have to check it out, Nick.
Yeah. And thank you again, Nick.
Thank you for the super chat. Doc Matthews has a super chat for $5. Meredith, why don't you collaborate on an epic superhero-ish comic again? You're the best superhero comic ever. We want fresh, original, badass characters. Well, thank you so much, Doc Matthews. And we have talked about it, but Dave is tied up with this freaking book for the next eternity.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Even Marvel and DC are like, are you ever going to be done?
I think they've temporarily kind of given up a little bit.
Every once in a while, I get the, are you done yet?
Yeah.
Can you come back to comics?
And I am doing covers, you know. I'm doing covers because really it's good to, you know, keep my name out there. But also, I want to maintain my relationship with, you know, editors and not be like, hey, I'm totally blowing you off for the next 3 years, you know? So, yeah.
All right. Nikki Riol has a super chat question for $4.99. Nikki says, are there any tips in cape or draper department? I can't draw that to save my life. Ironic considering Batsy is my favorite. Nikki, have you checked out David's How to Draw Folds in Clothing YouTube video?
Yeah, I've got a How to Draw Cool.
It's free.
Yep, it is. It's on YouTube. And thank you very much for the super chat. That would be, I would say, start there.
Because I felt like you're a very good teacher, and I felt like after watching that, I could draw folds.
No, you couldn't.
I felt like I could.
This is my thing. I
could do it.
Stop drawing.
You think you can write? You tell me you can write all the time. Maybe
That's true.
Could draw.
Maybe you could.
Maybe I just have this like. I mean, people saw my torso or my legs. I mean, that was off of your tutorial video. It took me 5 seconds.
If you learn how to draw, I'm moving to Alaska.
Well, I'm not interested in moving to Alaska, so I won't learn how to draw. Because I'm not also interested in starting my life over again with a new person.
No, me neither.
You're my person.
I would put up with it.
You're stuck with me.
But I would make your life miserable.
So I hope we answered Nikki's super chat question.
Yeah, I think hopefully, yeah. Well, look, the fact is that it's a very difficult thing for me to just say, okay, 5 minutes, let me break down. And that really did break down. I did tight clothing, I did looser clothing, and then at the end I did a quick cape demonstration. So it's all in there. There's always going to be, unfortunately, the truth is that there are going to be examples that I can't cover every eventuality, but what you want to do is you want to learn a few rules that inform everything. And so when you do run into problems, you have enough of a basis to be able to go from.
All right, the next super chat question is from SCS Powerlifting for $5. Do you think an artist should do black and white as well as color? I've been doing a lot of color lately and feel more black and white would help with detail.
Thank you for the super chat. I personally think that sticking with black and white is better to learn, you know. I think, because you want to eliminate as many variables as you can when, you know, if you're struggling with anatomy. I think that learning how to draw it really well as a step, in my opinion, is a better way to go than painting. Now, that said, Eric Grove, who is our moderator, is painting. He's doing, I don't know if it's, actually I haven't asked you, Eric, if it's Photoshop or what program you're using exactly, but and he's learning anatomy, faces, all that kind of stuff in color, you know, painted, and it looks great, and he's growing so fast doing it. I've never seen somebody be able to do that. So, you know, it's certainly possible, but it makes it much more difficult. And, you know, I think it's probably wise to, yeah, keep it as easy as you can, you know, but I mean, there are no rules.
All right, I'm going to go get to the next super chat question very quickly, but I just have to say, because Detective Bucket says he owns a copy of Fantasties, and since I did talk about Fantasties, it was a challenging book to adapt, but it was so good. So if you haven't read Fantasties, it's fantastic. And then also, One Mighty Hour wanted to know when you're going to activate the join feature on YouTube, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about that so that they can be members. And we've been talking about it. We're just trying to figure out how it's going to look.
Okay, I'm just going to say, here's all my concerns with it. Number one, we were talking about having like a, you know, like an emoji or something like that for people, for you guys in the chat. And I'd love to do that. And we were saying, hey, you know, if there's a way we could give it to you. Well, if we do a membership, then we're effectively charging people, you guys, for what I would love to be able to offer out. I don't know a way around that. That kind of bugs me a little bit. So I'm a little concerned about that. The other thing is that you have to be able to offer tiers and extra content, and I'm very concerned. I would not want to offer something up if I'm not confident that I would be able to offer
and deliver it.
And so I'm really worried, like, what would be the extra content that I could offer that would make that worthwhile, but that I could still maintain, because if I couldn't, yeah, I would end up falling behind, and then I'm ripping you guys off, and I don't want to do that. That's why I haven't done it yet. So we have thought about it here. I just have been concerned that I can't do it right.
So the next super chat question is from Doc Matthews for $5. Doc says, FYI, follow Richard Friend and he crushes on you every video. He loves your art and we desperately want another collab. This channel would be great.
I need to, you know, actually it's the worst too, because I saw that Richard said something on one of the YouTube videos, and I didn't have my keyboard in front of me, and then I'm like, I've been so busy lately. And the Skillshare thing, which I'm mentioning again, yeah, it took all of my time last little bit. And so, but yes, I would love to. I need to email him or call. You know what? Just give him a call. Richard, if you watch this, we need to do something. I would love to do something where, you know, I could do the pencils for it, like a cover or something like that, and then, you know, have Richard ink it and, you know, maybe film that. I think that would be incredible.
World's most uncomfortable couch. Okay. Also, just a quick shot in the dark, Dave, but where would people go to find non-photo blue line sketches to practice or ink on? Does anybody know? Does anybody know where people would do that?
Okay, anytime you find any kind of a pencil sketch, all you need to do is go into Photoshop, and I knew how to do this at one time.
You can make it a blue line?
You can. Oh yeah, you can just turn it, it's like a slider. Actually, if you use, I want to say Manga Studio, it's called Clip Studio Paint. It's a button. You can hit it and it'll turn the layer blue. You can print that out and boom, there you go.
Thank you. All right. Jeffrey Niffen.
Jeffrey.
That's a super chat. Sorry.
You're good?
I think so. For $1.99. Jeffrey wants to know if the Skillshare will be weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. Hell no, not weekly or bi-weekly.
Oh yeah.
Maybe once a month. Maybe.
Oh no, it won't be once a month either.
Maybe look, it's not going to be that often.
The Skillshare course is not like the YouTube courses. I put so much time and effort into this thing, and it's all done real time. The YouTube stuff, and I've been planning on changing that just because I feel like I draw, and then I speed it up twice as fast, and then I try and explain what I'm doing over watching myself draw twice as fast, and so it's very difficult. But when I draw and just talk, I can really get across, like, for instance, like I'm drawing a leg here and I want to draw a little striation on the muscle right there. And I can say that. I can't do that with the format I've been using. So there was that. And so I feel like I was able to get a lot more in there. It's all divided into sections. So on the heads video, or a series of videos, it starts out with a simple form, then it goes on to adding features and then turning it in space, and I go into all the features in more detail, some shadowing, then we start with the head. I did a whole section on hair, by the way, blocking it in and then finishing it out, and anyway, it's much more in depth, and so no, it's not something I could do every week, not at all.
All right. So our next super chat is from KiteCast for $10. I just started drawing. This is great. Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so glad that you're drawing. It's the greatest hobby in the world, I think.
And then another super chat from Galrosk for $5. Galrosk asks, have you ever done a self-portrait as a comic book or superhero character? What would your superpower be, or magical power, or preferred weapon?
Okay, no.
You've drawn your face. Remember that big head that was like a Marvel cover with a guy with a scar? You use yourself for reference for Lex Luthor sometimes, but that one, you do sometimes use yourself as reference.
Sure, but that's okay, sort of then. But no, not really.
Lex Luthor. Every Lex Luthor is Dave as a comic book character.
Well,
Not just because you're both bald.
Right. And what my superpower would be to stop time.
Yeah. Can you use that for me too?
Yeah. It's the best superpower. We all need it.
We all do.
Let me zoom out. I realize I'm off the page most of the time here because I never zoom back out. There we go. Okay.
Cheeto Valentine has another super chat. Cheeto says, thanks for the answer. I'm pretty sure my professor was insane too. Just started to watch your videos. Keep up the good stuff. That's awesome.
Thank you very much, Cheeto. Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat on that one too.
Yes.
Jeffrey St. Jacques for $5. I saw that Dave was credited as one of the artists who worked on the Star Trek X-Men crossover comic published in 1996. What's up with that?
Okay, well, that was a comic that Top Cow did. Mark Silvestri took it on for whatever reason, and it turned out to be a nightmare because when he was drawing the pages, every page he was actually, and this is the way, if you have to draw people in a comic and it needs to look like people, you lightbox it. I mean, it's just so much easier. And so he was actually lightboxing them from images that were provided by the studio, and every image that he drew needed to be approved by the actor. Anyway, lightboxed, perfectly done, because it's Mark Silvestri. He knows what he's doing. He wasn't screwing up. They were having problems with. And so he was actually having to go back and fix faces and make them prettier. Basically, yeah, it was a nightmare. And he got so sick of it, he just pawned it off at the end. Like, I think about halfway through, he's like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm out. And so he pawned a bunch of the pages on the rest of us. And so I ended up drawing a page. So that's the story behind that. Yeah, I wanted no part of it. That was, do your job.
All right. Next super chat question comes back from KiteCast again for $5. As a musician who's learning to draw, I'm curious what kind of music you listen to.
Okay, well, I listen to a lot of different types of music. My favorite, though, is heavy metal, for sure. And we were just talking about this last stream, Tool, I love, and Metallica, Megadeth, probably my favorite right now, Pantera, the list goes on. What's the new one that I really like?
Charm City Devils.
Charm City Devils, yeah, good stuff.
All right. Next one.
I'm just going to darken this in.
Mike F has a super chat for $2.99. Ever doing a tutorial on drapery folds? Thanks, guys. Well, I feel like we answered this one. I feel badly that we answered it before we got to the super chat question, but yes, Mike F. Dave actually does have a YouTube video. It's actually and I think we should say this, it is your most watched YouTube video by not a small margin.
Yeah, it's true.
There's like 120,000 views on that thing about how to draw drapery and folds, which means 120,000 people can't be wrong. There's something there.
120, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It's clearly an effective video teaching people how to do drapery and folds with shadow.
Now I have seen,
And
you know,
clothing. I'm sure
I've seen videos with millions of views of people eating Tide Pods, so, you know, just say that.
Stop it. You and Isaac, man. Okay. Every once in a while. Here we go. Okay. My screen flips. But I'm not refreshing because we don't want a last week fiasco. And Eric has to find out my behind super chats. Doc Matthews, next super chat question for $5. Dave, my figure sketches are as good as anyone and also very stylized and unique, but the shading you do is unreal. And I need help with crossing that bridge.
Well, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I would say I have a bit of a quick video on shadowing on YouTube.
Maybe that's your next Skillshare course.
But yeah, I think actually, because with the video, I thought it was like the worst video. I couldn't believe how bad it was when I did it, and I was embarrassed about it. I thought, you know what? I said I'm going to do tutorial videos. I'm just going to put it out there. But yeah, it's something I'd like to spend hours on and waste all of your time and go into deep thoughts about all of my, you know, because this is a problem. I can go on about this stuff. Like, I can not shut up about this stuff once I start.
Truth.
Yeah, I drive Meredith, everyone crazy with that stuff. But, you know, maybe you can get some value out of it. And I do think that, you know, you can sift through a lot of me yammering on and hopefully, because I do put a lot of thought into all of the decisions that I make when I do this stuff, you know? So, yeah. I think maybe next, that would be a really good one to do.
Alright. The next super chat question is from Artsy Designs for $4.99. Hey Dave, have you ever thought of sketching in Photoshop or Procreate?
Well, thank you very much, Artsy Designs. I have drawn in Photoshop a little bit. I've got a I'm pointing off camera, but it's a big, huge Cintiq.
It's really just a dust collector.
It's a dust collector. It has been for years.
I use it as a monitor.
I don't even use it for that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there. I need to just...
Don't get rid of it. Put it in the drawer.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've done it. I don't enjoy it, really. I have seen, and actually I've talked to Johnny Desjardins, phenomenal artist. He's done a lot of stuff for Dynamite and a bunch of different publishers. And anyway, he's using an iPad with a pencil, and I tried that. I thought it felt much more like drawing. I'm drawing this gargoyle as if it's alive. Like, I'm drawing the tongue all with, whatever, having fun. Anyway, so I'd like to do it more. Actually, we were talking, did we, I don't know if that came up last live stream or what, but I'm going to get an iPad and start doing that more. So I've done it a bit, not enough. I'm going to do more.
With all your free time.
Yeah, I know. Well, now that I have the power to stop time.
That's right. That's your superpower. All right, so the next super chat is from Grant Minot, and Grant says, Meredith, you pronounced my last name right. Oh, thank goodness. So here's some money.
Oh, man. Wow. Well,
Dave,
thank you very much, Grant.
Dave is my favorite DC animated movie. Oh, Dave, what's your favorite DC animated movie and favorite live action movie?
My favorite animated movie is Justice League Teen Titans. I'm not sure if that's the name of it.
Teen Titans Go, the movie.
Okay, yeah, but I love the animation in Justice League Teen Titans. It's more of a realistic...
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so well done.
It is.
Anyway, I really, really like that one for all the animation in it. I think it's phenomenal. So that one. And then, yeah, Teen Titans Go. For, like, you know, just to sit down and watch a movie.
What's your favorite live action movie?
My favorite live action, like, superhero movie?
DC movie.
Oh, DC...
Aquaman.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty far up there.
Yeah,
but, you know, maybe Aquaman, actually.
That has nothing to do with Jason Momoa.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm saying maybe, and you're like, well, yeah, definitely. I would have to say probably I Am Bane. I Am Bane is a Batman story that I did with Tom King. The Bane story in, you know, the Christopher Nolan Batman movie.
Oh, yeah, that was good too. Oh. All right, so the next super chat question is from Danielle Castelli for $9.99. Danielle's worried that we interpreted his question the wrong way. I really hope my question wasn't interpreted the wrong way. I think you communicate brilliantly, and being
Oh, Daniel, come on.
recommending your Noma videos was my biggest takeaway from art school. Yeah, we said he was the SH word, basically, is what. No, I'm kidding. I should be paying you because you gave me the opportunity to make fun of Dave.
There you go.
Not that I need it.
Yeah, and Daniel,
I'll take
not at all, really.
Yeah,
We're good, man.
it's all good.
Thank you again, Daniel.
Falling Falsely as a super chat for $5. As someone who struggles with drawing in a comic style, should I practice more realism or just copy comic art from an artist I like?
Okay, look. I'm just going to say it. Look, I think you should copy from artists that you like. Because the fact is that you want to draw comic books. Look through the history of comics. Like, let's be honest here. You know, I could draw a line from Neil Adams through, Alan Davis and Jim Lee, and you can look at all these different artists. Like Jim Lee starting out had a really strong Kevin Nolan influence, and it's plain, you can totally see it. And he didn't learn that from life, he learned that from looking at Kevin Nolan. This is how we all learn. Really, all the most successful artists out there, you can see the influences. That's how we learn, really. And I think that there's a real resistance to that because, you don't want to be copying. And I understand that. And I really think, I was talking to Eric, our moderator, about this earlier this week. And I was saying that I think sometimes younger artists actually have an easier time, not because it's easier when you're younger, but because you have more willingness to just, copy other artists and try things and just have fun with it that way. And then you get older and you think, okay, that's not what I should be doing. I should be, learning from this and that. Like, really, copy artists that you like. Take as much. If an artist does something you think looks really great, steal it from them. Don't let it just be theirs. Make it yours. And then you don't just copy from one artist. You copy from all the artists you like. And you will end up with your own style that's a mishmash of all those artists, but also has your own aesthetic that just naturally will come out. You don't even have to worry about that. Like developing a style, the easiest thing in the world. The only thing that makes it hard to have your own style is just looking at one artist. And, learn from life. Sure, of course. But really, I think for comic artists, all the most successful comic artists that I've ever seen, you can plainly see they wear their influences on their sleeve.
That was lovely. All right. Daniel Castelli again for $4.99. I read that brilliant artists have trouble expressing themselves outside of art because to them it feels redundant. I was just wondering if you agree.
I don't know that I would say, and thank you again, Daniel, for the super chat. I don't know that I would say it feels redundant. I would say I don't know. There's not a whole lot that I can do other than draw. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty helpless in a whole lot of areas of life. Let's be honest. Meredith could attest. She won't though, because she's too nice to do that.
All right.
But, I don't know what it is. I cannot remember names, and these are people that I deeply care about. It's not a lack of caring. I can never remember where I'm going when I'm driving the car. I'm always lost. It's always been that way. So, I live a distracted life, and I put so much thought into my work and break it down, and so I'm not totally absent-minded. But yeah, when it comes away from art, and I cannot remember a script. Like if I'm thinking I want to say this and this and this, forget it. I can't do it. It's just a skill that is beyond me. So, it is what it is. I don't know. I wouldn't say it would be redundant. I mean, I'd be happier to be a more well-rounded person, probably. Really, ultimately.
Well, it works out because your strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa.
That's right.
So it just makes us a well-rounded couple.
It just means I married my boss.
You married I'm the yin to your yang.
You are, and I love you.
I mean, if you need a little bit of a bossy yin for your yang, so be it.
Yep. You're more than happy to fill that role.
I am more than happy to be the bossy yin for your yang.
There you go.
All right. Jojo Heliero wants to know, has a super chat for 249 Philippine Will you be releasing an art book like what Jim Lee did? That would rock.
Thank you very much, Jojo, for the super chat. Very much appreciated. I will be, but I'm afraid to say that because what if then I do? You know what? I have scans of all the sketches that I've done here, and I really would like to.
We should do a YouTube book after a year.
Yeah, but what am I going to do? Like a book full of a bunch of YouTube examples?
Yeah. No, a book full of all the sketches you've done on Monday night. It will be the Monday night draw, the collector's edition.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That would be awesome. So I guess the answer to that question then is that you guys have to hold on for a year. Do we have enough to put into a book?
Yeah, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
One sketch at a time.
All right. SCS Powerlifting has another super chat for $5. Dave, gotta get that Disturb and Stain music and look for Leo Morcioli's channel and all the metal covers he does.
How do you spell it?
M-O-R
A-C-C
H-I-O L-I-N
L
L-I and that's it. Leo Morcioli.
Leo, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, SES. I will check it out for sure. Definitely. All right, I'm almost done blocking this in. I did draw the...
Caught up on the super chats.
Great.
Am I caught up on the super chats? Was that the last super chat question? Is that possible? I'm having trouble scrolling right now.
Well, while you're looking...
I must be caught up because now the people are talking about marrying their bosses too, which means
You were all caught up.
have pretty much caught up.
That's great.
Nobody thought that was going to happen, an hour and a half ago when I was so far behind. Kenny Wong? Is it Kenny Wong? He was doubting me. He was saying I was so far behind.
It's Kenny Wang.
Is it Wang?
I'm pretty freaking sure. Pretty sure.
And now I'm scrolling through the chat trying to find out.
And then I'm afraid
Kenny, all I know, Kenny, is you were doubting me.
Well, there you go. You proved him wrong.
Proved him wrong. I got through everything.
All right.
Kenny Wang. It's Kenny Wang.
Yeah.
I was right.
You were right.
Then I second guessed myself.
Lost my cap. We'll use this one. Okay.
Oh, so since I'm this far back, let's talk about what YouTube tiers could be. Game Master Toolbox says dance lessons could be a tier level.
Dance lessons?
Nobody's taking dance lessons from you. Let me just say that. It's embarrassing. Also, things people are never going to learn from David, how to run.
Hey. Things are getting very personal right now.
Oh, did I mention, by the way, that Maddie is on the stream again tonight?
Maddie! Great to have you here, Maddie.
I saw her and I meant to mention it. So.
We need to get together for a beer. It's good to see you, Maddie. Well,
Maddie Lance's niece, Maddie.
Oh, Maddie. Oh, jeez. I'm thinking Maddie Suchuk. I'm sorry, Maddie.
Underage child. Let's go drink. Let's go have a beer.
I've got too many Maddies in my life. Oh, you can never have too many Maddies.
You can't have too many Maddies.
It's great to have you here again, Maddie. So, yeah, just so you know, Maddie, I've got a buddy that I grew up with, Maddie Suchuk, and I don't know if he's here or not. He's come here before. And so, yeah, she said Maddie, and anyway, there you go.
Sorry. Oh, and when we were talking about blue lining, Johnny Cage, JP7, commented that Richard Front has a great video teaching how to make a blue line.
Oh, great.
The Manga Studio button makes it blue, but not non-photo blue.
Oh, yeah, that is good to know.
There you go.
I never knew that. Huh.
Oh, no, we're back to super chats. I'm down, going down. Why? Here we go. Here we go. Next super chat question is from KiteCast for $5. Check out Tigran Hamsian Drip, the YouTube version. It's jazzy Armenian metal. I feel like you'll like it.
Okay, what's the name?
Tigran, T-I-G-R-A-N.
I-G-R.
That's the first name. A-N.
A-N.
Hamsin. H-A-M.
Yep.
S-Y-A-N.
S-Y-A-N. All right. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for the super chat. I will check that one out too.
And then Danielle Castelli has another super chat for $9.99. I first discovered you through a fellow art student's recommendation of your Noah videos, not your work in comics. I discovered that later. To me, you are one of the best art teachers.
Well,
So nice.
yeah, thank you very much, Daniel.
You know what, Daniel? Dave is very modest. I think that's obvious to a lot of people. But I think that part of that is what makes him such a good teacher, because he's not trying to make what he's doing feel overly complicated, like it's a secret that only he has. It's a genuine love of what he does that he just wants to share, and you do break it down so beautifully. I mean,
wow,
so beautifully that your completely untalented writer wife, who I joke at conventions cannot draw a round circle, could I think, you know.
Well, I gotta be honest, Meredith. I think
what you're doing.
It helps that like I can tell you, when I got to Top Cow, I could not touch the other artists that were there. There are so many artists that I can plainly see are so much more talented than I am, and so much of what I've done over the years is just trying to compensate for the fact that I don't have the natural innate ability to do a lot of this stuff. So I'm having to like game it and figure out, you know, how to make things work and try to piece it together in a way that makes sense for me. And so it's made me really think about it a little bit. There sometimes I think some like Travis Trest, who we did his, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but we always called him that. So his charade.
Because he's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He was a
French.
He was a Wildstorm artist when I was there. So I used to hang out with him at Wildstorm. He had a desk right beside me. And anyway.
How are we doing on that, by the way?
It's coming.
It's 9:45.
Meredith, it's coming. Anyway, yeah, he was outrageously talented, and he's really not working that much now. And you know, I think it's such a shame. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to stop talking now.
All right. Sounds good. Instead, I'll let you know that Maddie responded to you, and she said, Dave, I'm only 10, and I cannot have a beer yet. But Robert Cameron said, I'll have a beer with you, Dave. I can't guarantee it'll only be one. And Johnny Cage, JP7, says, now I'm left wondering what Dave's running looks like. And let me tell you, people, I won't run with him. I love you dearly. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Oh, I love you. The fact that I love you is why I actually would run with you. It's my love. It's my love for you.
You ran with me quite a bit before I started getting complaints too. I think you just couldn't take it anymore.
I couldn't take it anymore. It's true. I really.
It's not like it was going to get better.
It's not. And actually, your running is so awkward that you were hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So my Maddie, actually, who is here and is too young to have a beer. Apologies, Maddie. Her uncle is my good friend Lance, and he is a great athlete. He was a college football player, and so yeah, he's got shoulder issues right now. His shoulders are killing him. My shoulders are fine, so you know what? I might not be an athlete, but there you go. Got that going for me.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Kitecast has another super chat. It says for $5, a pie costs $1.50 in Jamaica. Another pie costs $2.50 in Haiti. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean.
What? I'm sorry.
I feel like this might be an algebra question.
Okay, that's on you then.
I'm not sure. What kind of pie? Is it a peach pie? Is it an apple pie?
How far am
Pie rates of the Caribbean.
I wish
I knew.
I had a buzzer for when I went off the screen, so it would go, you're off screen.
All right. Next one is Galrosk for $5. You mentioned beer. I have problems, so I need answers. Ha. Favorite beer? Brand, type? Do you drink to loosen up to draw, or do you need a clear head?
I need a clear head, so I don't really actually drink all that much. I can't draw after I've had anything to drink at all. So, yeah. I love to have a beer. I love to have a drink here and there, but it's not exactly a lifestyle. Let me put it that way. Favorite beer? My favorite beer right now?
You can't have anything with preservatives in it.
Yeah, it's starting to kill me. Like, I'm getting older and I'm getting all sensitive, you know? So yeah, my favorite right now is actually Sandwich Brewing Company. It's here, we're in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and they are here. Anyway, it's great stuff, and it's draft, so I love that stuff. My favorite bottled beer is Creemore Springs.
All right. Another Canadian beer, I believe.
Is it? Yeah. See, this is a problem. We're in Canada, so I'm saying, you know, my favorite beer is Bud Light.
No. All right. Lance de Boyer says, Dave, I have to admit, I was always just about your pencils, but your inking just blows my mind.
Oh, man. Thank you very much, Lance. Thank you, Lance. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Lance has. Hopefully he'll come out next time we do the critique session with Robert. Love to see how his work is coming along. Right. Oh, and that reminds me, Tomacart, who I saw was here earlier on, hopefully he's still here.
He says, David looks amazing, 100 times better than my Batman. I can't have a beer, but you want a cookie?
Yes. That's Tomac?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey. Yeah, he's putting stuff up on Discord, and the growth in Tomac's work has been incredible to watch. He's really coming along very fast. He's very young. I think he's 15, so, you know, he's going to be one to look out for.
All right, the next super chat question is Anthony Gee for $1.99. He says, you're getting all kinds of music recommendations now. Check out Ghost. It's basically heavy metal, BOC. I don't know what that means.
BOC?
Yeah.
But the name is just Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, it's a pun.
Oh, no. So I wrote down some...
I didn't get it. Pirates of the Caribbean is a pun. Oh my gosh, people. I'm such a loser. The Pirates of the Caribbean super chat. Everybody's like, were you guys rolling your eyes at me? They're like, Meredith, oh my gosh, you're the worst. I take myself too literally. A pirate costs, I don't know.
So you didn't realize it was...
Pirates of the Caribbean.
You really didn't realize it was Pirates of the Caribbean? Are you kidding? Wow. I might not be able to run, but...
I don't have that kind of sense of humor. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Somebody had to super chat me to tell me it was a joke.
Oh man. Well, you should say thank you.
Thank you guys. You're the best. This is the best stream ever. Thank you so much, Falling Falsy, for your $5 super chat to tell me that I'm a loser.
Well, I appreciate that one.
Oh, see, that's what I get for making fun of David.
Yeah.
You guys can make fun of me now. The whole rest of this week, Dave's going to be asking me how the pirates are.
Except that I won't.
I know. I would totally do it.
You totally would. I'm not that evil. I'm much nicer than you are.
It's not that. It's you won't even remember.
Oh yeah.
We'll walk upstairs and you won't even remember.
That's true. Also, I am nicer.
You are. Well, yeah, probably. And then Kite Cass paid $2 super chat to say pirates equals pirates. I have failed as a comedian. You haven't failed as a comedian. You've only failed in I'm reading the joke. So I have failed as, what am I? I'm not a moderator.
His audience has failed him.
I failed him. Your audience has failed. There you go. All right, next super chat. My gosh, I'm so bad. Thank you, Doc Matthews, for moving on from the pirates. Doc Matthews, $10 super chat. How do you sequentially... Hold on. Let me get my spasm under control. How do you sequentially structure art? Let's say the story is a character at his PC. Girl comes in and says he's needed elsewhere, makes his way from point A to point B, but how many panels and pages to make B interesting?
Okay. Here we go. So what's the scenario?
Guy is at his computer.
Okay. And then what happens?
A girl comes in and says he's needed somewhere else.
Okay. So we're going to do two versions, and that's it?
That's it. And then how do you get it from point A to point B?
Oh, okay. Well, so first of all, you need to decide what's your most important panel. And we're going to assume that because she's just saying he's needed somewhere else, it's not really a big deal and whatever. So we're just going to establish the scene. So I'll do a nice big panel 1. I'll do 3 panels. Now, this is something normally that the writer would break down. Do something like that. If it doesn't work, we'll fix it. Okay, and so for panel 1, I'm gonna draw my backdrop wall. Here's my desk. Here's my computer on the desk. Guy's at his computer. Maybe a couple of chairs in the foreground, you know. He's like got a big office and some pictures on the wall. This is garbage, I know, but whatever. We're just establishing the scene. So, and we'll give him, you know, a nice big window behind him with like horizontal blinds. Let's draw him actually sitting there. Computer. And then for the next panel, I will come behind his head. Here's his ear. Here's his computer screen. And you see the door open here. And this girl says, hey, you're needed somewhere else, you know? And then you see, now I'm just making this up, but, and let's draw some more floor here, and I can make the bottom dark so it kind of, you know, do like a compositional kind of lighting here. Now I'm getting carried away. I don't care. Okay, and at the last panel, I'll have him looking up at her like, oh no, and his eyes are big, like, ah, because he's, you know, like, obviously that's ridiculous, but that's really the way that I would do it. I mean, and it's, laying out pages is that easy. It's, you know, because for panel 1, I didn't want to go, I could have, now I'll do a different version. I could have went with a more extreme angle. So let's again, you know what, actually we'll accentuate the second panel this time. So I've got my first panel up here, and I'm gonna close in on the guy. He's sitting down. He's got his hand here, you know. He's got his computer here. There it is. Chair behind him, window behind that. So we're a little more closed in on him. It's enough to get it across though. And then we'll do a nice big panel for the second one. And do something like that. And then I will just show the door swinging open. And let's actually, you know what? Let's do a bit more of an upward like an upward angle on the whole thing, just to make it even more dramatic. So here's my door swinging open, and she's yelling, "You're needed somewhere else," you know. And then I'll do like another panel here, and I don't like this layout already. And you know what the problem with it is? This figure and this figure are almost the same size. So I would change that. But we're going to move on just for the purposes of this.
Because Meredith is going to turn into Pumpkin.
All right. And then you see her face here and the guy at his desk here. And he's like, oh no. And he's starting to get up from his desk, which is going to be here. And you see the whole thing. So it puts it all into, you know, some kind of sequence. Anyway, that's basically the kinds of ways I would approach it. I would not do this because you can see that this figure and this figure are too close in size and they're directly stacked on top of each other. It's a bad layout. And that's how I work out, you know, what a bad layout is.
All right. Next question is from Sheldon Martin. Hey Sheldon, thank you so much for the super chat. Sheldon says,
thank you very much, Sheldon.
Sheldon says, I found a head drawing of you, Dave, in a Wizard tribute book to Michael Turner.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Is that the sketch that was used for a card?
Yes. So the story behind that, and unfortunately we can't show it because I don't have it here, but I took a horrible picture in a photo booth when I was a teenager, back when there used to be photo booths, and it was in my wallet. The lighting was blown out, and I was screaming in the picture, not actually screaming, but just having my mouth open wide. And I showed it to guys at the studio. They all thought it was pretty funny. Mike ended up drawing a version of that, and he used it for a trading card for one of the characters. I can't remember the character's name even anymore. Kilowatt, maybe, I think. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, so I ended up being an actual published card, basically the same head, nothing done to it, just colored blue. And then, not long after that, did I mention this before on here? But yeah, I went home, I come back in, and everybody's looking at me like, what, waiting for me to react. And I look up at the wall. They said, look at your wall. I looked at the wall behind me, and they had all photocopied that picture and then drawn different hairstyles on it. I think I have said that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah.
All right.
A lot of history. I miss those days.
So, Kenny Wang's now making fun of me. He's like, Meredith Finch, it's just basic humor. Wow.
There you go.
And Anthony Gee had to fill me in that BOC equals Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I live my life in a bubble, people.
I wouldn't have known that, though.
Oh, there you go. So, Karma, yep. Johnny Cage is like, yep, Karma's a mean lady. They're all like, you take that.
They're turning against you.
They turn on me. Let's see if I'm here to
oh, no.
your chats next week, people. All right. Next super chat question is Daniel Castelli. For $9.99, what book do you recommend for learning anatomy? Just kidding. If you had to pick one artist to compete against an alien race for survival of the planet, who would you choose?
If I had to pick one what?
To compete against.
One what to compete against?
An artist. If you had to pick one artist to compete against an alien race for survival of the planet, who would you choose?
Greg Capullo.
There you go.
Not only is he an outrageously good storyteller, he has incredibly dynamic figures. This is actually a Greg Capullo book right here. And look at this stuff. It's ridiculously good. I should really be doing Greg Capullo book of the week, maybe next week, except we're doing it right now. Anyway, it's outrageously great stuff. Plus, the guy's a monster. He's a very nice guy, but yeah, he's like a weightlifter, and oh yeah, no alien race would win.
So, Tim Garter says, I'm so confused with how little you've coughed. It's nice to know it's actually Meredith. In response to my coughing.
There you go, yeah.
It's true, I haven't coughed as much tonight.
No, you're not a replicant, though.
I'm not a what?
Replicant.
What's that?
Oh
my gosh. Why do you do this to me?
You're not... You haven't been body snatched.
I had not been body snatched. Speak like I grew up in the country. I think I'm part of your modern whatever.
That you sneer at? Yeah.
That's right. Sneer. It's after 10, I can sneer all I want.
Is it? Okay. Well, we're moving along here. Things are coming along.
All right.
I know this is taking a little while, this one, and it's going to be a little long, but...
Please tell me not past 10:30.
No.
Like 15 minutes?
Meredith, just... You'll live.
Because I might start doing my dog and pony show here.
Okay.
All right. Now, they're still talking about the pirates joke, just so you know.
All right.
Just saying. All right, here we go. Going back up. Going back up to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. I think I have another super chat. Let me go down. Oh, Daniel Castelli gave a super chat for Jackie Howe. He gave a super chat, and the super chat says, "This is for Jackie Howe," who's one of the people watching the stream tonight.
Oh.
And I asked a question from Jackie early on.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you, Daniel.
I did not say that. Maybe it's Jackie Howe. Jackie Howe? Maybe I pronounced it wrong. Is Howe H-A-O? Is that Howe? That's Howe, right? Oh no. I just want to make sure I get people's names right.
Yeah.
Monday night, Charles Petrie. Monday night draw would not be the same without you, Meredith. Thank you, Charles. Leggy 100 says, Meredith, make David show his old drawings he first showed, please.
My old drawing.
Old drawings. Oh, that you first showed to get hired.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what?
Have those?
I do, and I will dig them, because I'll have to dig them out. I will have those for next week.
All right.
Remind me, Meredith, because I'll forget. But yes, next week I'll do that. You get to see just how bad it was. You know, I really should have done it for this week because I mentioned it last time. But yes, I'll find them and dig out a bunch of my old. And, you know, I'll show you guys actually a bunch of the types of sketches that I was doing trying to learn. I've got pages and pages of me.
Oh, yeah, your mom saved everything.
Yeah, she did.
Now it's here.
Now it's, yeah. Now you're stuck with it.
Now it's here.
It's flat. It doesn't take too much room.
Oh, Johnny Cage wants to know how the puppy is. Puppy's good. Puppy's house trained.
Yep.
He likes me best.
He does. It's true.
But to be fair, I'm the one who gets up in the middle of the night if he needs to go out.
Yeah.
I'm the one who gets up at 5:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock when he wants to wake up for the day, and I let him out. And I feed him and make sure he has food and water.
So when he's almost 200 pounds, you'll have a relationship and you'll eat me.
That's right. You best be nice to me, David Finch. I got me some big dogs. Alright. My battery's not down to 8% though. Very funny, Alvin. But the only reason it's not is because I dim my screen now.
Ah, you're learning.
Yeah.
Look at that, we're becoming pros.
We are. I am down to 46 though from 100.
Oh well, look at that. We got all night.
Nah, all night. You have till your wife turns into a pumpkin, unless you want to sleep with one eye open. And the most unique channel name Meredith has ever seen has just showed up.
Oh, great.
I missed so much. Yes, you did. We talked about Dave running and how Meredith does not understand pirate jokes. All right, I'm going back now. Going back down. Okay, first, thanks, Edward Lee. First, thanks so much, David and Meredith. And then second, David, do you know where to get cool art supplies?
Okay, well,
Amazon.
Yeah, truthfully, I get them on Amazon. The other really good place that I know of that I get supplies from sometimes is Jet Pens. And generally what I'll do, actually, I have to say, Jet Pens is just about as fast as Amazon. It's crazy how quickly they ship. So it's, but when I buy something from Amazon, my credit card information is already, you know, so it's easy. I can just dump it in and boom, yeah. So yeah, really I get things from Amazon unless there's something that specifically I just can't find. And that's becoming more and more rare. I mean, they got everything there. It's crazy.
Charles Petrie had a genius idea. He says, if you digitize those old drawings, you could use them for your tiers.
I don't understand.
As like a reward.
Yeah, but
you can see David's old artwork.
Oh.
David's crappy artwork. I don't know if that's the reward people are looking for.
It'd be like worth a glance. You go, oh yeah, that sucked. Yeah. That was the worst.
Oh,
and then you move on.
Oh no. All right. Next super chat from Doc Matthews for $5. Doc Matthews says Finch is greater than Capullo.
Wow, well.
Finch is equal to or better than anyone else in comics.
Man, Doc, thank you so much.
And then he said, Meredith, thanks for narrating. Monday is my new favorite day of programming from home.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you.
Purveyor of Loops says, I just cooked an entire dinner while watching the stream on my TV.
Oh, that's great. Look at that. We're like TV.
Yeah. And Henry Jeremiah says, Meredith, don't worry. If you turn into a pumpkin, Dave will draw a pumpkin head.
Maybe.
No, I'm just the butt of everybody's jokes. It's fine.
Yeah, you bring it on yourself.
Yeah, I did this time. Oh, people. Mark Goldfein's leaving. His stream's lagging. Hopefully our stream's not lagging. It seems fine.
Hopefully not. I didn't even know Mark was here. Well, actually, hopefully he hasn't left yet. It's good to see you here, Mark. Thank you for coming.
I need music. So I could put music on.
Yeah, but then that would be copyright.
I'll make my own music. Oh. Can we talk hockey briefly? It's probably not a good idea.
No, it's not.
And it's just going to make people upset. Because the Leafs lost.
Greatest comeback of apparently comeback was Evan was telling me earlier that it was like a 1 in I don't even know, some ridiculously vanishing
4 goals.
Yeah, in like minutes.
Yeah.
And then only to blow the whole game, not even score, with a hugely overpaid offensive line that they had out the whole time, totally helpless. It's frustrating. It's fine. Derek Lewis won. That's what matters.
All right. Some people are lagging, some people aren't.
Yeah, it says here that our stream status is excellent.
So maybe the people who are lagging are on the East Coast.
Or, it very well could be us. And the truth is that with our current internet, it is beyond my ability to fix more than we have. We might end up actually having to just, I don't know, could we call the internet company and say, hey, do you have like a plan? I don't know. We'll have to look into it. But it has been a problem. And, apologies again if that's happening.
Game Master Toolbox wants to know what happens when you feed Meredith after midnight. I call that breakfast.
Yeah. And she doesn't get any worse. This is as bad as it gets. This is bad enough, is it not?
This is my midnight time. Yeah. This is the witching hour for me. I could be up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm ready to go for the day. But this is the time, like a lot of nights I fall asleep on the couch at like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Most nights. 10 o'clock is like past my bedtime. I'm definitely a creature of the light versus David, who is a creature of the dark.
It's true.
Down here in the basement, all the windows covered up with pillows. All right, let's see what questions I missed. Not upset. We're not upset in Montreal yet. We get the Flyers. Oh, now they're talking hockey.
Yeah.
See, I did that.
And you knew you were doing it.
I did. I opened it up. All right. Daniel Castelli says, super chatted you to let you know that you're streaming perfectly. No issues here.
Wow, that's great. I'm glad.
Thanks, Daniel. And then Dopalicious Art has a super chat question. Dave, who is the best to study for belts and gear?
Belts and gear. Travis Trest. I mean, okay, I'm doing it again. I know we don't have tons of time, but look at this stuff. Let's find a place where he's doing belts and gear. Or belts, anyway. I mean, you can see the gear. It's incredible here, but there's a bit of a belt there, which looks pretty crazy. But he's got he did Wildcats for a little while. That's incredible stuff. I think the coolest book probably that he did, and actually I really should have had that one out. It's Wildcats X-Men. Look for Wildcats X-Men by Travis Terrest, and I think Scott Lobdell wrote it. Anyway, that is outrageously good work. Incredible gear, and very, very influential stuff on all of us at the time, and still my favorite for that kind of thing.
Just want you to know that I've started bad things in the stream. Johnny Cage just said, "Who's your daddy, Montreal?"
Oh no.
Oh, Kenny. Okay, Dave, you gotta respond to Kenny Wang's Discord message because he's doing a research paper on you.
Okay.
So you've got to respond. Thank you, Kenny. I know I mentioned it to him, but yes. I'll make him do it first thing tomorrow morning.
There you go. Okay.
Because now that he's done with this Skillshare, which was supposed to take a day, but took all of last week. But
well, I knew it wasn't going to take a day.
Nobody works for editorial or the Davos work too heard me say that. All right. Dave Finch, where'd you get the Space Girl book from?
I got it actually at a convention. So
You can pretty much get anything anywhere. Though,
yeah,
these
I'm
days.
sure you could order it. I don't know if it's got an ISBN. No, of course not. And yeah, signed by Travis. Yeah, you know what? I'm sure if you type it in, you'll be able to find it somewhere. I apologize for not having like a, just a direct link where I could say, "Oh, here."
All right. So then, Doc Matthews wants to know. He has a super chat for $5. Wolvie Bat can't wait for next week. How about a monster character like Juggernaut or Bane at some point? Or do your mentors Jackie Estacado?
Oh yeah, Jackie Estacado is Darkness.
Oh yeah. I gotta figure out what's due on the commission list though.
Yeah, I know, but maybe Bane.
Well, we've done 2 weeks without doing commissions.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll see.
But we do want, I'm just going to put this plug out there. Let's get everybody telling their friends to subscribe to Dave on YouTube so we can get his number up to 50,000 so that we can give away this beautiful Batman piece.
There you go.
Look at me go.
We're almost there. I mean,
Are you almost there?
no, to 50,000.
Oh, you are almost to 50,000. Are you almost there on the picture?
Oh yeah.
Do I need to
Meredith,
check?
please. Tell ya.
I tell you. You know I get antsy as the night goes on. I'm like... What's new with us, Dave? We talked about us for a while. Kids are good. They're going back to school. That's exciting. High school here. I know school looks different from everybody, but for high school here, they're dividing semesters. Usually, like school semester would go September till January. Getting there, and you do 4 courses. Now they're going to divide that in half. So you do 2 courses for the first half.
If you're trying to get me to speed up, it's working. Really, this is, come on.
All right, how about this one? Artsy Designs, which I understand now. I thought it was artsy, is actually artsy designs. See, this is me right there. I can write, I just can't read it. Has a super chat to say that you can find Space Girl on Travis's website.
Oh, great.
So that's the place to buy
Thank
it.
you, Artsy.
People, go to Travis's site. Game Master Toolbox is doing a research paper on the lifespan of pumpkins, so he's going to need to talk to me. Project Zero. So Dave, I've been struggling here with one thing. How to create depth when you have hair that is really long, straight, and black. I really do think you need to do a hair tutorial.
Yes, I will. And
curly hair, straight hair, black
Yes.
hair, blonde hair.
yeah, I'll try and do enough of a range that it kind of covers all the major bases. I mean, there are a million different hairstyles, but they only really follow so many different rules. So yeah, in the Skillshare course, I did short blonde hair, and I did that, or I guess brown hair doesn't, but not dark hair. And I did that because it's actually harder to draw, my experience, than darker hair. So I wanted to be able to kind of get more information in there, but I'll do darker hair. Maybe I think that's going to be Wednesday's tutorial on YouTube. I think that's actually a good idea for a tutorial.
It's so late. The cat's down here telling us it's bedtime. You always know it's getting time when the cat's down here chasing us down, saying, "Excuse me, I'm in bed by myself up here. Where are you guys?" You can't super chat to get this commission, Art9, just so you know. Jack Ham hats. Okay, let me see where I can. Yes, I can. Somebody else can hear the cat. Callum Russ can hear the cat. Cat is saying, "It's time for bed." All right. Ivan Kavaski wants to know, David, if you can please make a tutorial on how to draw vehicles like Batwing, cars, and motorcycles. Thanks for the tutorial.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think that would be a good tutorial.
And then Kenny Wayne wants to know how you make muscles look like they're hidden behind a layer of skin. When I draw the arm muscles, it looks like the muscles are exposed.
The way that you do that, and thank you for the question, Kenny. It's all about drawing connection points. You don't draw, like if I've got, and I've actually got some anatomy kind of here. So if I draw my muscle, this muscle here, and I draw all the way up through, it's going to look like it's not under the skin, but I've got a muscle kind of that goes, you know what, it'd be better for me to start this with a pencil so I can actually, so I've got a muscle here, I've got this muscle here, this kind of goes here. And so what I'm going to do is draw the connection points and not the overall muscle. And then there's shadow and everything, but really the thing that makes muscles end up looking like they're not under the skin is not drawing connection points. You're drawing the whole muscle. So there's a bit of an underside curve there. Draw a connection here, bit of a connection point here. And then I would, it does not look natural now, but if I erase out and just leave the connection point, it starts to actually look like it's anatomy and not, or it looks like there's skin. So that would be how, in a quick nutshell.
Doc Matthews just super chatted saying, I'll pay whatever commission fee you need to get a darkness Jackie Estacado drawing. It totally fits your style unless you do it with your ability today. Today, like, versus...
Right, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Doc. Yeah, actually, I think it'd be a great character to do. It would take quite a while. He's got a lot of detail in his costume. Mark was able to do that really fast. He's very, very good at that kind of detail. It always took me a little longer, but I enjoyed it. And I have not drawn darkness in... well, actually, it's, I did a commission a few years ago, but it's been a little while. I think it would be fun to do.
Are you drawing? You are drawing. Ellen Comic Art says, hi, Dave and Meredith. Why don't you guys do a pro versus noob drawing? It would be so much fun.
Maybe we should.
I don't know how we do it, but like maybe just have the cameras on the page. That would be fun.
Yeah, just zoom this out a little bit more and then put yours here.
Yeah. I'll sit beside you. You can do the demo and then I'll do my version of the demo.
Right.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That might be a Monday night though. Monday nights, Dave teaches Meredith how to draw. I don't know. We might lose. We might go from 500 people watching to 50 people watching or 5 people watching.
I'd say that's likely.
Yeah, probably. All right, we got Russ Hicks is here. Russ Hicks gave you a super chat for $5.
Thank you very much, Russ. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your super chat.
People are checking it. Oh, Russ says, Dave and Meredith, thanks so much for making Mondays great. Can't wait to check out the new Skillshare course. Thanks so much, Russ.
Thank you, Russ. I hope that it's useful. I really do. And it's, I put as much into it as I possibly could to try and make it as useful as I could. But in some ways, I never know until, it comes out and I hear what people think and what people are getting out of it and if it's really working. I am planning to add to it in the future a little bit. Based on some feedback, so yes.
People on the stream think that me drawing would get us to 1,000.
Do they?
Yeah.
They're biased. They just like you.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't either, truthfully. I berate you all night.
I know.
Chase you off the stream. I'm like, let's go, people. It's bedtime. My battery's down to 39%. Everybody's leaving anyway. I'm seeing good night, namaste, time to go. Let's go, Lou. All right. Kenny Wang says that Kevin Ford says that draw the connection points, not the muscle advice, was straight and much needed.
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, that really is the problem, though. It's drawing all the way through the muscle and not just connecting it. And when you shadow more, you can obviously shadow can build all the way through, and that's fine. But if you don't have a lot of shadow in an area and you connect all the way through and draw the whole muscle, then that's how you get that effect.
Isn't this what the music from Final Jeopardy? Is that you signing your name, Dave?
Thank you so much, Kenny Wang.
Are you reading that rendering on the cape is so beautiful how it fades into the light?
Yes. Oh, somebody's putting poor Eric to work.
All right.
Henry, I won't be inking the stuff I did in pencils. Generally speaking, if I do something in pencils, then it stays in pencils if somebody wants to get it inked, but I do not like doing the same picture twice. So if I pencil it, it's penciled. Because I'm really doing what I would do with a pencil, just with ink.
So I'm going to read this. No, I'm not going to read it. Never mind.
Okay.
Change my mind. Thought better of it.
That's probably a good thing then.
Probably. Oh, Daniel Castelli gave us $1.99 super chat for the face you made while I sang the Jeopardy theme song. Did you make a face at me?
No.
You did make a face at me. Alright. Darren Iman wants to know about your Moon Knight days. Was this your impetus for doing Batman?
Well, actually, my Moon Knight was a result of me wanting to draw Batman. So it was kind of the other way around. I was under contract with Marvel, who was great, and I loved being under contract with them. But I really wanted to do Batman, and so Moon Knight seemed like a really good kind of substitute. And I didn't actually know a lot about Moon Knight. It really wasn't until I started the book that I actually really fell in love with Moon Knight as a character, you know, in of itself. So our stream is falling apart.
Is it?
Yeah, we're at poor.
See, it's because you push it too far.
Okay, Meredith.
Everett's like, it's time for me to stream, Dad. All right. Are you done?
No.
All right, let me see what we got here. Your Tomboy pen, Mega City Patrol. Your Tomboy pen is nice and dark. Buy the same pen, and the ink is more gray than black. You had that trouble, actually.
Yeah, you can actually buy them gray.
You may have because you got so frustrated with that.
Yeah, it's possible to buy gray ones by mistake. So if you did, I'm sorry that happened.
But check.
Yeah, you really have to
have just a gray pen.
Yeah, I drew a better part of a page with one and was fighting with it and getting so frustrated until I finally realized it's gray, and that's why it's coming out so strangely. So yeah.
Okara, hey guys, thank you so much for inspiring me and all those people with this amazing content. I've been struggling with my mental drawing all day, but your stream makes the day brighter. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
Marcello Vitaka, I still remember your video from TWP. They were great. Helps me a lot. A big thanks from Argentina.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's from the Norman group. Benjamin Taylor, you guys are nice in this chat. Love this community. Congrats on the great channel.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you for watching.
Johnny Cage says, Eric is a pro. When I moderate, my main goal is to troll Jimmy.
Yeah, you do need a moderator, because every once in a while somebody will just come on and start. I saw a minute ago somebody was typing in random letters.
Oh, yeah.
And, you can see it delete, 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 delete. So, yeah, he's on the job.
Yeah. Sheldon Martin, super chat for $5. Thank you, Sheldon. Dave, are you going to do any more inks over Scott Williams or anybody else? Thanks, Meredith. You're awesome.
Thank you very much. I don't have current plans to do that, but I will again at some point. But yeah, the picture with Scott, he's an artist and a phenomenal inker, so he's not exactly in need of an inker, generally speaking. It was just something fun to do. So, but yeah, I think I'll end up doing it again at some point.
And then Pip has a super chat. Pip says, we love Dave and Meredith, and huge news from DC tonight. It is, somebody else asked about that as well. And again, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but we're just, our thoughts and our prayers go out to all of the people, all of our friends who we love dearly, and colleagues who we've known. Dave has worked for DC since 2010.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're just thinking about all of them and praying for them. As it's some of them, I think it sounds like you're gonna know they'll have some time to make some changes, and they won't be let go until December, but it's still.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I haven't know anything that's going on.
Or just heard, yeah. So
we're just praying for all of them. Everybody who's
absolutely.
Yeah. So sad. So sad. Okay, here's a question, Dave, from Galarosk. How do you handle critical mistakes after hours and hours of work? I know you've dealt with this.
Well, there are times, excuse me, there are times that, especially on a deadline, which is really all the time, but, on a monthly deadline, I can get to a point with a page where I know that it's not working, but I can't just completely redo a major panel. If it's smaller, I'll do it. I'll stay up later. I'll try and find a way. But there are times, I just can't do it. And it ends up going out, and I know that I'm not 100% thrilled with it, but I have no choice. It's just, that's how it goes. So yeah, it can happen. If I'm inking and that happens, and because inking, obviously you don't have the same flexibility to just be able to erase. The worst possible case scenario, and it does not happen much, but when it does, I end up just taking a piece of paper, cutting it out, gluing it down, and I use, for glue, I just use matte medium, which is acrylic painting medium. And I'm sure you could use anything, but that's what I use, and then I just redo the whole section. I did an X-Men cover for Marvel that has a figure that it was a Psylocke figure, and it just wasn't working, and there was a point where it was not fixable the way it was, so I just had to do it.
It's called a patch.
It's a patch, which is a common thing. I've seen there are some artists that will do that, like at the drop of a hat. I don't know about this face, boom, patch. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, come on, man, But I'll do it. It's like desperate times before I get there. I mean, I really try not to let that happen.
The most unique channel name Meredith has ever seen says, I didn't have any planned questions, but were there any tips or tricks that you wish you'd known before starting comics?
You know, so many of those. Now, I learned a lot of these really almost day one. But when I was just starting, when I was drawing at home on my own, I would actually draw on a separate piece of paper my whole layout, full size, and then I would go. Actually, I was drawing them a little smaller. I think I was drawing them half size, and then I would have to go to a photocopy place, and get them printed out at a larger size, and then I would light box them, and it was this like whole process because I thought that's how you do it. And you know, I come to the studio and nobody's doing that. And Mark Silvestri's got a kneaded eraser. He's drawing just lightly and then erasing, no problem. And you know, so I learned that one like right away. That one, yeah, it didn't take me long to figure it out, obviously, but I struggled with that for quite a while before I got in, and it would have made learning how to draw pages a whole lot easier, I think. So that's a big one. I think the other one would be backgrounds. You know, now I feel like it's not really what you're asking. It's like, you know, what kind of a secret of the business. Now, okay.
Dave, I hate to interrupt, but could I get an ETA here?
About 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kind of taking advantage of me tonight. It's like 10:35.
Yeah.
2 hours.
We're almost done.
You want to finish the... Even the cat's like, come on, it's bedtime.
All right, I'll finish my own.
All right. Turning Arthur 12 says, I'm new to your channel, but your drawing looks really good. I'm wanting to learn how to draw, so I'm absolutely going to subscribe for more content. And somebody else here said,
thank you.
Says that they've actually signed up for the Skillshare course already.
Oh, well, great.
Where is it? I don't know where it went. Oh, Inkheart 181. OMG, thank you so much for answering my question. I've just signed up for the Skillshare class and I'm already loving it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving it a try, and I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Doc Matthews has another super chat for $10. I'm 38 and got into comics in the early 90s. At a family Christmas, my cousin took me aside when he learned I was into comics and told the story how the best artists left the big publishers and became Image.
Yeah. Yeah, those were great days for sure. I got into comics just a couple years after Image started. So I wasn't there for the very beginning, which would have been really nice, but I was there for most of it.
We're not arguing, by the way.
Oh yeah, we are.
I'm just saying, come on. I'm tired. Everybody's like, you don't have to stay, Meredith. Go to bed. Don't argue. But then you just get silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Because that's the sound of silence. Did you get that?
Got it.
You didn't get that, did you? Samenda Bendari. I'm 12 and I'm a big fan of yours. I wish to be like you someday.
Well, thank you very much, Samantha. It's a fun job.
Mega City Patrol, I do love your art. You do rendering and hatching, and yet you never overdo it, and have nice deep shadows and lots of stark white areas.
Well, thank you. I certainly have overdone it at times. It's happened.
Mostly with painting.
Yeah, well, the more uncomfortable that I am, you know, the more that happens. I think if I painted more, I would settle in. I don't even think it would take that long. It's just a matter of not having the time to really learn how to do the job.
Here is an old school fact from Henry Jeremick. Marvel Art Department was famous for patching covers. Steranko's Hulk cover has a Marie Severn head, and Jim Starlin's Captain Marvel has a Ramita head, to name a couple.
You know what? I did the first book that I did for Marvel was actually called Call of Duty, or just the Call. I think it was anyway. There was a story change or something. Anyway, they needed to change one of the characters, and the art department did it and redrew a head. And I hated it, of course, because it's, somebody else drawn. Honestly, I think it looked awful. I was pretty upset. It looked so terrible. I thought so. Maybe I'm biased, but it looked bad.
By the way, Reed Trutman says you're winning the argument. That cannot happen. And Kenny says I'm not allowed to sing copyright music, but I sang less than 30% of that song. So
actually, no, it is a good point.
I sang less than 30%.
You really think that'll save you, huh?
I do.
Okay, you don't watch a lot of YouTube, do you?
I don't.
That ain't how it works.
That isn't it artistic?
No.
Artistically expressive?
No, it really isn't. And I know what you're saying.
I did the Jeopardy music too tonight. We're gonna get pulled.
I do know what you're saying, but the truth is that the way things are, they things get pulled very, very easily.
All right. Jordan Seward is here with the super chat. Jordan says, "Thanks for the stream, Dave. Sorry I'm late."
Oh well, better late than never.
Rewatch
Jordan.
if available.
Oh, it'll be available to rewatch for sure.
I think it goes up basically as soon as we're done.
You know what? Usually, yeah. I had one time where like an hour later it still wasn't up. I don't know what happened, but generally speaking, yeah, it's up just about right away. So quickly. The first stream that I did, it gives you the option. The stream finishes, and then it says, "Do you want to edit this?" And I was trying to edit out a part where the stream died, we lost our connection. I finally got it all edited and put it up, and the other version was already up. And then I couldn't figure out how to get rid. I tried to get rid of one; it wouldn't let me delete it. Anyway, nightmare.
So Art9 says, "Disturb the Sound of Silence" cover, which I agree with. 100%. That's a favorite. And Kenny Wang says they'll flag you even if you sing a line. Yeah,
no, they will. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, you totally could get us flagged for doing that. Wasn't even thinking about it, but it's true. You can, and people do.
That's crazy. I shouldn't be such a good singer, because if I sang out a tune like you, nobody would know what it was.
There you go.
All right, Doc Matthews wants to know your favorite early comic memory as a fan or artist.
Wow. Okay, my favorite memory, I think, is my very first day going to Homage Studios, because Homage Studios, and now I don't know how many people in the chat and watching would know this now, but that was Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, Wills Portacio was there, Scott Williams. It was like Image Central, Jeff Campbell was there. And so just walking in that building the first time, and it had and I can't remember what it said. Actually, I think I do. It was like AGS or something on the door, because they didn't want to write what it was, so they didn't have unsolicited. So I felt very special going in the door. I was like, wow, And Jim Lee was there, and I'm walking around, and he's sitting at a desk drawing a picture. Jim Lee. I couldn't believe it. I was pretty stunned. So it was pretty amazing.
We just got a super chat for my legal fees from Dave Costelli.
Oh, well, thank you, Danny. Ooh, we might need it. Who knows? They don't sue, they just take it down. That's how it goes.
The video. Alvin says, "I got in trouble for using a tiny GarageBand tune." So sad.
And it is true, yeah.
I won't do it again.
Yeah.
How did I know? Project Zero says we are not going to argue because we're too cute a couple, and they learn too much from us. Well, not from me. I haven't dispensed any wisdom for the day.
No?
I haven't. Not even anywhere I've gone today have I dispensed wisdom. But I have told both my kids that they were beautiful and that I love them today, so I guess that counts.
You're on the good side of whatever.
Most times I just scream at them and tell them they're awful human beings.
Oh, yeah.
So, every once in a while I gotta up their sweet little faces and tell them that they're good people too.
Wow.
I got some locker up chants happening right now.
All right. I think that's going to about wrap up our Batman.
One last super chat question then, and that'll wrap our night. Because it just came in from Chow Hein.
All right.
For $10. Dave, what was your experience like when you first started working for DC drawing Batman Dark Knight and the transition to the New 52 reboot?
Thank you very much, Chow, for the super chat. It was actually a very strange experience. I went to DC. I wanted to do Batman. I was not planning on writing it myself, but Dan DiDio really said, because I had written a few things before, and he said I should give it a try, and I thought, yeah, sure. And it was a much harder experience for me than I thought it was. It really made the book more difficult. I didn't get, frankly, any support from editorial, really. I mean, look, my editors were great, but at the same time, it was my book, and they didn't want to interfere, and I needed more help than that, really. And I think I didn't communicate that as well as I could have. So yeah, I felt like I was just, it was a struggle. It really, really was. It was very, very difficult doing that book. And I got to the point where I was on issue 3 and I was making up the story when I woke up in the morning. And then, I got to the point where Meredith helped with a lot of the planning of the book. And then she was helping more, as things went along, just to try and keep us going. She wasn't really planning on being a writer at the time, but she was, certainly helpful with it. And then going on to New 52, the schedule really tightened up, and we got Greg Hurwitz on the book, which was a huge, huge coup. He's phenomenal. I had a great time working with him, and I'm very proud of that stuff. So yeah, it was a real experience. And then going on Batman again, I did the run with Tom King, quite a few years later, and that was a totally different experience. And I think ultimately my favorite Batman experience. I was, I don't know, I guess in a better place. Sometimes I find that I can be in a good creative place, and I can be in a bad one. And it depends on where I am in my head, and it can be a little tough to, I think we all feel that way sometimes. So yeah, I was struggling. When I first got to DC, I think I was feeling a lot of pressure, and I let that get to me. And I think that I've gotten better over the years with that, but it's always a struggle. So I think we are done, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you for coming and watching the stream and spending some time with us. Really appreciate it. Meredith?
You wanted to thank me for staying up past my bedtime?
Thank you to Meredith for staying up, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you next week, where the timer goes off at 10:30.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.